Hare Krishna. Welcome to episode 7 of the Strengthening Foundation series, and today's topic is the story of Srimati Tulasī-devī part 2. So this whole episode, this whole story of Tulasī-deví's glories is described in the Brahma Vaivarta Purāṇa, and it spans 20 chapters. So yesterday we have covered 10 chapters and today the remaining 10. So before we go to the remaining 10, we will just recap so that we remember what we went through yesterday. So in the first chapter, the appearance of Tulasī-devī. So Narad Muni asks, how was Tulasī born and how did she become so chaste and how did she become so famous? So Narayana starts his description that there was a Manu, Daksha-savarni, which is the 9th Manu, which suggests that it might be in the previous day of Brahma, or maybe the 9th Manu is already in existence now, but he is waiting for the time when he will become the 9th next Manu. Not the next. Now is the 7th Manu. And so Manu, Daksha-savarni's son is Dharma-savarni, and Dharma-savarni's son is Viṣṇu-savarni. Viṣṇu-savarni's son is Raja-savarni. Raja-savarni's son, all of them until Raja-savarni are Vaishnavas, and Daksha-savarni being even a partial expansion of Viṣṇu. And Raja-savarni's son was Vrishadhvaja, who was a very staunch devotee of Lord Śiva, and he was very much against Vaishnava religion, against worship of Lord Viṣṇu and any other demigod also. He was staunch worshipper of Lord Śiva, and Lord Śiva was very pleased with him, and he even stayed in his house for 3 Divya Yugas. And in that way, the demigods were tolerating that because they were afraid of Lord Shiva's anger, that if they would curse him, then Lord Shiva would get angry, and that would mean a lot of trouble. So they were tolerating that, but ultimately Surya, he could not tolerate anymore. He cursed Vrishadhvaja that he will lose all his prosperity and property. Then Lord Shiva became very angry when he came to know of this, and he started chasing him. And Lord Surya, he went to Kashyapa Muni, his father, and both of them went to Lord Brahma. And together with Lord Brahma, they went to Vaikuntha. And there Lord Viṣṇu assured them that no, Lord Shiva is very exalted, he will not do anything, you will no need to fear anything. And Lord Shiva also came there, and Lord Shiva glorified the Lord Narayana, and then he said, this is what happened, that Surya has cursed my devotee. So what will become now? What will happen now? Now they have already taken shelter of you, Surya and Brahma and Kashyapa. So of course they will be awarded with fearlessness. I cannot do anything to them because they have come into your shelter. But then what will happen to my devotee, Vrishadhvaja? Then Narayana said, my dear Śiva, you have been here for half an hour, and in that time 21 cycles of the 4 yugas, 21 Divya Yugas have passed, and Vrishadhvaja's name is written off in history. And his son, who was that? Vrishadhvaja's son was, Hamsadhvaja. I think Hamsadhvaja. He was also already, Hamsadhvaja. He also died. Vrishadhvaja died, his son Hamsadhvaja died. And then Hamsadhvaja had 2 sons, Dharmadhvaja and Kushadhvaja. And they performed a lot of austerities to please Goddess Lakshmi. And Goddess Lakshmi was very pleased, and they were benedicted by Lakshmi that she will take birth as daughters of these 2, Dharmadhvaja and Kushadhvaja, as a partial expansions in each, for each of those brothers. So actually Hamsadhvaja, Vrishadhvaja's son Hamsadhvaja was also devoid of much luck because of Surya's curse, and even his sons Dharma and Kushadhvaja, they also did not have much luck. But because they worshipped Lakshmi, they regained, and then they became powerful rulers again, mighty rulers. And after getting Lakshmi's blessings, Dharmadhvaja and Kushadhvaja they both bore daughters, but not much information was there about what happened to Kuṣadhwaja's daughter. But Dharmadhwaja's daughter was Tulasī, and she had incomparable beauty, and that's why her name was Tulasī. Tula means scale, that which, in the court of justice also there is a scale there. So equality, equal. Tula means equal. But Tulasī means her beauty was incomparable, so therefore she was called Tulasī. So in that way she was born, but immediately, so Dharmadhwaja's wife was Madhavi, and Madhavi bore Tulasī in her womb for 100 celestial years. So 100 100 celestial years. And then after that she was born, and immediately after taking birth she assumed like adult's body, and then immediately went to the mountains, to the Himalayas, to practice meditation. And she wanted this is chapter 2, so she wanted a husband, Lord Narayana as a husband. So she went to the Himalayas and very, very severe austerities for 100,000 celestial years. Badrinath, she went to actually Badrinath, 100,000 celestial years, which is like 36 million earth years. She did unimaginable tapasya. For 20,000 years she was just eating fruits and water, and then for the next 30,000 years she was only eating dry leaves that fell from the tree, and then for the next 40,000 years she was just breathing air, and then the last 10,000 years she was not even breathing air, and she stood on one leg. And all this she was doing in addition with every summer. During the entire summer she will surround herself with fires all around, and under the scorching sun she will do tapasya, and in the winter she will go to the icy waters until the neck and do the tapasya. So in this way, very, very, very severe tapasyas she did. And finally Lord Brahma came and offered her benediction. What do you want? She said, I will not hide anything from you. I want Narayana as my Viṣṇu as Narayana as my husband. I am Tulasī. I am a Jati Smara. I remember my previous life. I was cursed by Radharani because I got very intimate with Krishna and she did not like it. She cursed me from Golok Vrindavan, and she cursed me to become a human being. So I came here and as Tulasī. But before I went, Krishna told me that if you do austerities, then Brahma will give you benediction that you can get Lord Narayana as your husband, who is my partial expansion, who is my expansion. So because of that order, I have done all this tapasya for 100,000 celestial years, and actually that really signifies the dedication of Tulasī Maharani, because ordinarily that is not possible in this world. Not possible. No woman can endure that kind of patience. But she did that. In fact, there is also, I forgot to show the verse yesterday, that a devotee, just like Rukmini also, when she prayed to Krishna, there was this verse. I don't know if I have shared this yesterday. This is from the 10th canto, 52nd chapter, 43rd verse, when she wrote a letter to Krishna to come and kidnap her. So there in that letter she wrote that Yasyangri pankajarajasnapanam mahanto vanchantyumapati rivatma tamopahatyai yarhyam bujaksha nalabheya bhavat prasadam jahyamasun vrata krishan shatajanma bhisyat jahyamasun vrata krishan shatajanma bhisyat means hundreds of, you will see the translation. O lotus-eyed one, great souls like Lord Śiva hanker to bathe in the dust of your lotus feet and thereby destroy their ignorance. If I cannot obtain your mercy, I shall simply give up my vital force, which will have become weak from the severe penances I will perform. Then, after hundreds of lifetimes of endeavor, I may obtain your mercy. So, this is in modern, not modern, in this material world, there may be this kind of dialogues between, in ordinary lusty affairs, but they don't really mean it. if the situation is there, they actually cannot do it. But when Lakshmi-Devi, Rukmini said this, that I will give up hundreds of lives if that will what warrants my association with you. If that is what can give me association with you, I am prepared to lose hundreds of lives in austerity. So when she says that, she actually means it. So Tulasi actually practically demonstrated it. So she went through all that. So she proposed this. Then Brahma had another whole different plan. So he said, no, I want to tell you another thing, that Sudama, he was also in Goloka, and then he also desired you, but due to Radharani's curse, he is also down here in this material world as a demon, Shankachuda, and he wants to marry you, and he already, he has done tapasya to get you as his wife. So you marry him, and he is also very energetic, very, very youthful, beautiful young man, and you marry him, and after in the future, later on, by special arrangement of providence, you will be married to Lord Narayana, and after that he will curse you to become a plant, and thereby you will become the most exalted flower, and then Tulasi plant, and then you will become more dear to the Lord Hare than his own life, and in that way the whole world nobody's worship will be complete without your leaves. So in this way he suggested this, and then she replied, actually I have more attraction for Kṛṣṇa than Viṣṇu. So in fact, because Kṛṣṇa asked me to perform austerities to get Lord Narayana as my husband, therefore I agreed to it. But now it appears that from your blessing I can get Kṛṣṇa directly, because after becoming a tree she will go back to Goloka and in fact have intimate dealings with Kṛṣṇa there. So then she just said, actually that was my real attraction to Kṛṣṇa directly, and I was intimately dealing with Kṛṣṇa and was interrupted, and that longing has allowed me to do this intense austerity. So, and then after her, she said, I want only one benediction, that let my fear for Srimati Radharani go away. Then Brahma initiated Tulasi into a Radha mantra, 16-lettered Radha mantra, and with that mantra he asked her, and he gave her also the mode how to worship Radharani, and she did that for 12 years and she completely attained perfection in that, and after that she was very happy. But as she slept on her bed, and then the Kama, the Cupid started acting on her, and she became so increasingly lusty. She was having extraordinary symptoms of lust, and she was very restless. This is all by the will of providence. So then she was also dreaming about a very nicely dressed, smiling, jolly youth, and that youth happened to be actually this Shankachuda, nicely, sweetly talking to her and kissing her and all that. So, and then suddenly he would disappear in the dream, and then she will become morose, and then she will become happy and morose, and like this. She was all overtaken by these feelings. And then the chapter 3, the birth of Shankachuda. So this Kashyapa was the son of Marichi, and therefore he was the grandson of Brahma. And Daksha gave him 13 wives, and among those wives was Danu, and her sons, 40 sons, are called Danavas. So one of the sons, one of the most powerful sons, is Viprachitti, and Viprachitti's son was Dambha. Dambha was self-controlled, and he was a devotee of Lord Viṣṇu, but he did not have any son. So he wanted to do some austerity. So he went to the Pushkar forest, and there he tried to please Lord Viṣṇu by I think what is his Jaigisavya, I think his No, not here. So anyway, Pushkar forest, he went severe austerities for 100,000 years. And at the end, and he was chanting the Krishna mantra, some Krishna mantra. He was practicing japa. And for 100,000 years. And after that, a glow emanated from his body, from his head. And it became so bright and so hot that the entire heavenly planets were scorched by the heat. And all of them were, disturbed, agitated. What is going on? What is going on? They went to Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma went to Lord Śiva. And Lord Śiva, all of them went to the Vaikuntha. And they saw the splendor of the Vaikuntha hall, the assembly hall, which was 8,000 miles in circumference. Huge and incomparable beauty. And then they all were overtaken by ecstatic emotions by seeing the opulence of the Lord. Then they presented to the Lord that this is the problem, this Dambha, we don't know what is going on, or where this light is coming from. No, this is actually one of the Danavas, Dambha, who is my devotee. He wants a son, I will settle it. Then the demigods were peaceful, they went back to their abodes, and the Lord answered Dambha's austerity. He went there, he went down to him. What do you want? I want a son with 4 conditions. What is that? He should be your devotee, he should be invincible to the demigods, and he should be the master of the 3 worlds. And 4th one was powerful and courageous son, who will be your devotee, invincible to the demigods, and conqueror of the 3 worlds. So these 4 conditions. So Lord Viṣṇu said, all right, you stop your austerity. Then he gave them the blessing. Then Dambha returned home, and then soon his wife became pregnant, and she was glowing, and in the whole inner chambers, the whole room was glowing because of her glow, because she held a pure devotee. And that soul who entered this devotee who entered the womb was actually Sudama from the Golok Vrindavan, after having been cursed by Radharani, and he was Shankachuda actually. So then in due course she gave birth to the son, and Dambha invited all the sages for the postnatal rites. And later on, when he grew up, he was a delight of the family as he was growing up. And when he grew up, he went to the Pushkar forest again, where his father performed austerity. And he went there, and his guru Jaigisavya gave him a mantra, and with that mantra he worshipped Lord Brahma. And then Brahma, came to him, and what do you want? Then he said, please make me invincible to the demigods, and please allow me to marry Tulasī. Because he had this feeling in the spiritual world that he had an attraction for Tulasī. But because of Radharani, he did not make any advances because of fear of her. So that brought him here. Then Brahma said, so be it. And in fact, one of the devotees, I think, who Prithviraj Prabhu or somebody was asking me today in the WhatsApp, how come Sudama had this feeling of enjoying himself in the spiritual world? So, of course, this is all the Lord's plan, Lord's Leela. But also another lesson for us is, even when we go to the spiritual world, if we desire sense gratification, we can come down. So that's how we all come down. That's why Prabhupada says we go back to Godhead. It means we are from there and we have to go back there. So we can fall down from the spiritual world if we misuse our independence. So the moment, although honestly, actually later you will see that Sudama did not do anything wrong for Radharani to curse her. He was actually defending Krishna, because Radharani was scolding Krishna and he could not take it. So he was defending Krishna, but she cursed him, and she also felt bad about it. But anyway, the curse came to fruition. He had to go. For half a moment only, he went to the material world. So, it doesn't match, because he did almost nothing wrong. But because he had this desire to enjoy, so he was given the chance. So, Krishna fulfills the desire of everyone. So, although this is all according to Krishna's plan, because he wanted Tulasī, he wanted an easy way for the conditioned souls to approach him. So he enacted this whole thing, so that Tulasī will come and he becomes cursed, and he becomes Śālagrāma, Śilā. So this whole story goes. But so on the other side, at the same time, he is also teaching us that sense gratification, no matter where we are, is will get us to this material world. So, please make me invincible to demigods and enable me to marry Tulasī. Brahma said, so be it. So then he gave him this amulet, Krishna's personal amulet called Sarva Mangalmaya. Sarva Mangalmaya means all auspiciousness. It is the most auspicious thing of all auspiciousness, and whoever wears it will become the ruler, undisputed ruler of the universe. And he wore it, and Brahma also said, Tulasī is in Badrikashram now, you should go and marry her there according to Gandharva Vivaha, Gandharva marriage. Gandharva marriage means no special rites, no nothing, it is just the boy and girl decide, and then without even ceremony it consummates in sexual union. So Brahma actually ordered him to marry her in that Gandharva Vivaha method. So then chapter 4, Tulasī-devī tests King Shankhachuda. So Shankhachuda went to Badrikashram in a golden plane, jewel-studded plane, and as he was coming, she was bashful. She was very overtaken by all lusty feelings for him, and she was very shy and very nervous at the first meeting. But then when he came down and sat with her and started talking to her, who are you, whose daughter are you, why are you here alone in the forest? Then she started testing him. She said, why are you talking to me? I am the daughter of King Dharmadvaja, but what business do you have talking to me? Because a virtuous man, he will never talk to a woman alone when so nobody is with her. So why are you talking to me? Go away, wherever you have come from. So then she actually said all the character of the woman, how a woman is a stumbling block in the path of spiritual advancement, and how one should never trust her and everything. How her heart is razor sharp, although she has a smiling face, but her heart is dirty, and all these things. So then after she finished, then Shankhachuda told her, yes, women in the mode of passion and ignorance, they are full of the qualities that you have mentioned. They are untrustworthy, they are unchaste, they are also always wanting excessive sense gratification. In fact, she also said, although in front of everybody she will act modest, but alone when she meets her lover, then she will swallow him up. She's very, very aggressive in sexual activities. So in this way, the mode of passion and ignorance, then Shankhachuda said, yes, the women in the mode of passion and ignorance are like this, but there are also examples, rare examples of women in the mode of goodness and known for their exceptional chastity, like Savitri and Lakshmi herself, Radha, and of course he did not mention Sita there, but of course Sita is there, and so many women he mentioned like that. See? And he said, this is where he said it, that all these examples of Shatarupa, Devahuti, Swadha, Swaha, Dakshina, Anasuya, Ganga, Diti, Aditi, Vedavati, etc. So in every yuga there are these examples of chaste and exemplary women, and the heavenly prostitutes, the Apsaras, are not as chaste and they are not as worthy of respect as these women who are excellent. So women in the mode of goodness are virtuous and pure. So in this way, and also he answered the question that why have you come to speak to me alone? So he said, yes, a virtuous man would never court another man's wife in either public or private, but I have come to you by Lord Brahma's command to marry you according to Gandharva rite. Then he introduced herself as Shankhachuda, and he also said, I am also Jatismara just like you are. I also remember my previous life. I was in Goloka as a cowherd boyfriend of Krishna, one of the 8 principal cowherd boyfriends of Krishna, and I became attracted to you, and eventually I was cursed by Radharani, and then I became a demon here, and now I am here. by the Brahma's grace. So then Tulasī accepted defeat, and she said, I tried to test you, and all these talks were going on. Then chapter 5, Brahma comes and says, come on, what is the use of these empty talks? Lust is written all over your faces. Just get married and get on with your lives. Don't act as if you are big scholars. and they both quickly married according to Gandharva rite. And they wandered around in various places, sometimes beaches, sometimes mountains, sometimes caves, sometimes lakes, rivers, and everywhere they were going. And they offered each other's gifts and all. So in this way they were enjoying themselves. And they lived for one manvantara. One manvantara is 71 times, 71 cycles of the 4 yugas, 71 divya yugas. So for a very, very long time. So if you calculate, I actually did a calculator on my phone. So it came up to about 350,000 celestial years. So she did austerities for 100,000 celestial years, and she lived with him for 350,000 celestial years, one manvantara, which translates into Earth years as 71 times 4.32 million years. So, Lord Viṣṇu helps the demigods. He disposes the gods of the realms. So, Shankachoda, during his period, he completely disposes the demigods. He completely ruined he defeated them in battle and everything, and they were roaming about like homeless beggars in the universe. And they were very sad. And at one point, they grouped together. They formed a group. That means they were all scattered. Not only were they homeless beggars, they were scattered all over the universe. They're not even together. So it was a very pitiable condition. So that was Shankachoda's mistake, because you should not encroach other people's lands for no reason. If they are a Kshatriya, let them rule as Kshatriyas. Just like Pandavas. The Krishna even said, at least give them 5 villages, because they are Kshatriyas, they have to rule. So at least give them 5 villages so that they can rule the five Pandavas. But he said, no, I will not give a land on which you can pierce a needle even. Then okay, war is the only next option. So Shankachoda also was like that. He could have lived in his own kingdom and he could have just let the demigods live, but no. But this is why the demons and demigods always have fights, because the devatas never really encroach on the demons' properties, but the demons always try to encroach on the devatas' properties. And whenever they do that, then when the powerful demon is there, then the demigods seek shelter of the Lord, and the Lord takes an incarnation and kills the demon, and like that. Otherwise, it's just fight between themselves, and they will settle it among themselves. So, and then they all united and went to Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma went to Lord Śiva and related to Śiva the details of the case. And Śiva, all of them went to Vaikuntha. Oh yeah, so here actually is here is the description of the Vaikuntha. And 16 gates they went through, and then they saw this huge, and this is when they saw, not the earlier one, this is when they saw that huge 8,000 mile circumference assembly hall, and with unlimited splendor. And they said, this is the problem now, this Shankachoda is creating a problem in the universe. And Lord Hare said, okay, he will not die unless that amulet, the Sarva Mangalamaya he is wearing, that has to be taken away from him, and his wife's chastity. Brahma I think also gave a boon to Shankachoda that he would not die unless his wife's chastity is violated. So, and the Sarva Mangalamaya amulet, as long as it is there with him, he will not die, he will not be defeated. So these two these two blessings are protecting him. So I will take care of both of them, his wife's chastity and the amulet. And he also described actually who he was. So this Shankachoda was Sudama. He was one of the 8 cowherd boyfriends of me in the form of Krishna. But when I was enjoying with one gopi called Viraja, Krishna, he was flirting with Viraja. And when we say Krishna is flirting, we cannot equate it to ordinary flirting like this, because Krishna can enjoy everyone. He can enjoy other people's wives also, because after all, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantim richati. He is the husband of actually everyone. He is the Natha, he is the Pati of everyone. So actually everyone is supposed to serve him only. Everybody, we all are supposed to be enjoyed by Viṣṇu only, or Krishna. There is no one else. So if Krishna wants to enjoy with anyone, there shouldn't be any argument, because he can do it. We can't, because we don't possess them. Krishna, everybody is a property of Krishna, so he can enjoy. So he was flirting with this Gopi Virija, but Radharani had her own feelings. So she heard, one Gopi went and told her, because just like any woman would, they are eager to pass on this gossip news. So similarly, same thing happens in Golok Vrindavan, but there is all full Chinmaya Rasa. So the Gopi went and one Gopi went and told Radharani, and Radharani was very furious. Is this true? She actually went to check, and then it was actually true. Krishna was actually enjoying with her intimately, and she cursed the Virija to become a river, and then Virija became a river, and Krishna disappeared from the scene. And then later on, when Krishna was with Sudama, and that time Radharani saw him, and she severely chastised him. What is this? You're enjoying with this woman and this and that. And then Krishna was silent, and Sudama could not take it anymore, and he started shouting at her, no, you cannot talk like this, you are nonsense, this, that. So then Radharani got angry. In front of Krishna, he shouted like that. So then she sent thousands of her attendants to stop him. Then he pushed them aside, and then he still, he was reproaching her, scolding her for how she can talk to Krishna like that. Then Radharani cursed him, you take a birth in the womb of a Danavi, demon woman. Then Sudama started crying. And he looked at Krishna and started crying that he got cursed by Radharani. And then he bowed down to Krishna, and then he was leaving. Then Radharani also, her heart melted at the time, and then she felt very bad. Oh, no, Sudama, don't go, please don't go. You don't have to go. Then Krishna consoled them. No. And all the gopis and gopas, all the cowherd boys, everybody was started crying that he was going to leave. Then Radharani also was crying. And Krishna consoled them. No, it is only half a moment. He will come back. After having fulfilled the curse, he will come back in half a moment. He will be back. But that half moment here is one manvantara. 71 cycles of the 4 yugas. So the relativity of time. So now you may ask that earlier half an hour was 21 yuga cycles, and here 1 half moment in the spiritual world was 71 cycles of 4 yugas. But we have to understand that 21 cycles was when they went to Shvetadvip, which was the Vaikuntha in this universe. So that is a different place than Golok Vrindavan, which is in the spiritual world. So there the time is again different. So that half a moment was 71 cycles, whereas here half an hour was only 21 cycles. So all this relativity of time. So anyway, and that's how Shankachoda came and became this demon. So then Lord Brahma and other demigods returned to their respective abodes, and actually Viṣṇu came down. Is that here? Yeah. Viṣṇu came down in the garb of an old Brahmana and came to Shankachoda. He said, I am a Brahmana, please, actually Shankachoda was already very much favorably disposed to Brahmanas. He always gives charity to them. So in that way, he gave charity. So the Brahman asked for charity. He said, what do you want? No, you promise me that you will give me what I ask, then I will ask you what it is. And he said, okay, I will do that. Okay, I want your amulet, the Sarvamangalmaya, I want. So in other words, although he may have cheated, always it looks like Viṣṇu cheats, in the form of Vamana or in the form of this Brahmana. But all this cheating is spiritual. He is never to be condemned for this. So that is a unique position of Lord Viṣṇu. Because after all, the Sarva Mangalmaya belongs to him only. So he's just asking his own thing back. So even if he doesn't even need to ask, he can just take everything. He's called Mrityu Sarvaharas Chaham. I will take away everything from you at the time of death. It belongs to me, and I will take everything back at the time of death, and you will be left with nothing. So, but because he's a devotee, and so anyway, this was a pastime. So he went as a Brahmana, and he asked the thing back, the amulet, and he gave without even hesitation. It was not, oh, what will happen? He did not. As a duty, that's the main thing. As devotees, it is very hard to imagine what will happen, what is the consequences of this and that. But the best way to live life is just to do the right thing. It doesn't matter what, labha, jaya. It doesn't matter whether it is going to give gain or defeat or, victory or whatever, gain or loss. It doesn't matter. Just do the duty. Whatever is right, do it. The result is up to Krishna. So he just gave without hesitation. Brahmana asked, I should give. That's it. So he gave, and that's how the Sarva Mangalmaya got lost from him. Then Narayana also gave, actually before they left, the demigods left the Vaikuntha, Narayana also gave his trident, his special Trishul, which only Narayana could use and Lord Śiva could use. None of the other demigods can even use it, can even tolerate such effulgence and power of that trident. So he gave that to Lord Śiva and said, you use this against Shankachuda. So now Lord Śiva went down and he pitched a tent camp outside this is chapter 7. So he pitched a tent outside the city of Shankachuda, and he sent a messenger, Pushpadanta. He pitched up under a fig tree, a holy fig tree. Then he sent Pushpadanta, his messenger, the leader of the Gandharvas, to Shankachuda. And Shankachuda, Pushpadanta went into the city of Shankachuda, which was 40 miles in width and 80 miles in length. And it was incomparable city. And his palace was spherical like a moon and radiant like a moon. And then it was having 7 moats of water and encircled by fire all around each moat. So it was very difficult to enter for the enemy, but very, very easily accessible to the friend. So he came to the first doorkeeper, the guard. He said, I am an ambassador of war. I have come with a message. And the hideous looking face the guard was having was some, very cruel face. And then he said, all right. He let him pass. And like this he passed all 7. Then he went to the palace and then he said, Lord Śiva is here for war. And he said, he is representing the demigods. And either you give your kingdom back to the demigods, or their share of the kingdom back to the demigods, you give them, or you prepare for war. What do you want? Shankachuda laughed and said, you better go back. Tomorrow I will go and meet Lord Śiva personally and talk to him. Then he went back, and the next day, chapter 8 I think next, then he went to meet Lord Śiva. Before he goes, he consoles Tulasī that the war is going to start, and then Tulasī also becomes very agitated. Oh, how is this? This is a danger. I had a bad dream also, so I'm not sure of what is going to happen like this. And he said, no, everything is temporary anyway. Just like he gave different examples of the sun in the in the midday and in the evening, and the moon in the waxing moon and the waning moon, and the sun in the summer season and winter season. And so many such examples where he said he highlighted the impermanent, transient nature of the material world and asked her not to be very much disturbed, because anyway we both are actually eternal associates of Krishna and Radharani, and anyway after this life we have to go back there alone, go back there only, and we can again unite there as well. We will be there again. So there is not really any separation, so nothing to worry. She was consoled, but again she was a little bit, disturbed, and then he consoled her. He told everything. Finally she was happy. And the next day morning, he prepares for war, and at Brahma Muhurta he rose, and then he did all his deity worship and everything, Mangalarati and everything. And then he gave charities, 700,000 villages and 300,000 cities to the Brahmanas. And he established his son Suchandra as the acting king while he is away for war. And he prepared an amazing amount of battle army. Some 30 million, 100,000 elephants, 300,000 horses, 100,000 elephants, 10,000 chariots, 30 million archers, 30 million armed soldiers, and 30 million trident holders readied themselves for battle. After counting his forces, the king appointed a Maharatha, an expert in science of warfare, a commander-in-chief, over 3 lakh Akshauhinis, like 300,000 Akshauhinis, and each Akshauhini has the division is so big. Each Akshauhini has 109,000 foot soldiers, 65,610 horses, 21,870 chariots, and 21,870 elephants. And that is one Akshauhini. And three such Akshauhinis, 300,000 such Akshauhinis he prepared for battle. And to give a context, the Mahabharata, Pandavas had only 7 and Kauravas had 11 Akshauhinis. So total only 18 Akshauhinis. But here 300,000. Such huge army. And he ordered 3 Akshauhinis to just play the war drums, And then Lord Śiva was, at the Pushpabhadra river at Siddhashram, and he was peacefully sitting, and he looked like the overlord of the entire universe, perfectly able to, completely destroy the entire universe. But at the same time, he was very peaceful and completely at peace with himself, and completely serene and without any worries. And they both had discussion. This was the 10th chapter, and Lord Śiva suggested him, why you are a devotee, you are actually a beloved cowherd boy, Sudama, and why are you engaging in this war? Why don't you just give? And you should, as a devotee, you should know that all these are not permanent. This thing. We cannot own all this permanently, so why are you even worried about all these things? Just give them back. Then he said, even killing a Brahmana, the sin you would get by that is 1/16 of the sin that you would get by creating a rift between your relatives and all. So he said, then Shankachuda said, he had full respect for Lord Śiva. At the same time he said, then why did the Lord, the Lord Viṣṇu, take away the kingdom of Bali Maharaj, and take away, when the Asuras and the Devas, they churned the ocean and got the nectar, he gave it to only the demigods and not the Asuras. Why he's partial in this way and that way? So of course this was a weak argument, because the demons are always misusing, and they're always not devotees of Krishna. Krishna is always favoring the devotees. Although he is equal to everyone. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshyosti na priyah. Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya. Mayi teshu chapyaham. So, although he is impartial to everyone, those who are his devotees, he becomes transcendently partial to them, because actually they take his mercy. So in this way, he asked these questions, and then finally he said, see, Lord Śiva, you are a great warrior, you are the undisputed warrior in this universe, and even if we lose to you, that's not a big thing for you, because that's not a big glorious win for you, because we are anyway weak. I am completely weak compared to you. So even if you have won over a lesser foe, it's not a big deal. You won't be as much glorified. But if I win over you, that will be really big deal. And on the other hand, so even if you win, it's it doesn't really add to your credit. It's not a one more feather in your cap or something. It's not really a big deal. And even if you lose, if we lose, okay, we were defeated by a more powerful warrior, Lord Śiva, after all, supreme warrior. But if you lose, the insult that you would face is unimaginable. So whether you win or lose, you're going to be a loser. And Lord Śiva humbly said, how can I, how it is bad if I lose to you, because you are an eternal associate of the Lord, and also you are a son of a Brahmana. Either way, you are always superior to me. So in this way there was perfect Vaishnava feelings, but at the same time the chivalry was there, the warrior spirit in both of them. But then Lord Śiva said, anyway, what is the use of talking these empty talks? Either you give them give the demigods the kingdom, or you prepare for war. I am determined. I am going to fight. I am going to get this demigods their due share of their kingdom. Shankhachoda said, all right. Then he got up from there, bowed down to Lord Śiva, got ready for war. So this is where we begin. Wow, we're already like 45 minutes into it. Okay, so now this is the chapter 11. Shankhachoda quickly got up, bowed down to Lord Śiva and ascended his chariot with his ministers. Lord Śiva ordered his army to be ready immediately, and Shankhachoda did the same. So both armies were getting ready. Musical instruments blared out, formally announcing the start of war. There was a great clamor along with the cries of the warriors. Then the fight between the demigods and demons began, and both sides fought righteously. Indra fought with Vrishaparvan, Bhaskara, the sun god, with Viprachitin, Nisakara, the moon god, with Dambha, fire or Agni with Gokarna, Kuvera with Kālakeya, and Vishwakarma with Maya. Mrityu, the death god, battled with Bhayamkara, Yama with Shambara, Vayu with Bala, Varuna with Vikamka, Buddha with Dhritaprishta, Shani with Raktaksha, and Jayanta with Ratnasara, and the Vasus with the groups of Varchesas, the two Ashwini Kumaras with the two Deeptimans, Nalakuvara with Dhuma, and Dharma with Dhurandhara. Mangala contended with Ganakaksha, Vaishvana with Shobhakara, Manmatha with Pipita, the 12 sun gods with Gokamukha, Churna, Khadga, Dhumra, Samhala, Vishwa and Palasa. The 11 Rudras fought with the 11 terrible and powerful Asuras. Mahamani fought with Ugrachanda and others, and Nandishwara and the rest fought with the leading demons. So in this way everybody was fighting each other. Lord Śiva, the goddess Kāli, and their son Kārttikeya encamped at the root of the holy fig tree. They were camping, and the other demons were fighting with the Shankhachoda's army. King Shankhachoda, adorned with gems and surrounded by millions of demons, sat down on a beautiful jewel throne. Then a great battle ensued. Many mystical and supernatural weapons were hurled, and numerous demigods and demons were killed. Maces, long and short swords, patisas, bhushandis, mudgaras, different types of iron clubs, javelins, spears, axes and other weapons glowed in the soldiers' hands. Fighting with these weapons, the jubilant warriors roared and cut off each other's heads. Elephants, horses, chariots and foot soldiers along with their drivers and passengers were hit and torn apart. Arms, thighs, hands, hips, ears and feet were cut off. Flags, arrows, swords, coats of mail and beautiful ornaments were split apart. From the tussle, glowing heads with earrings as well as elephant-like thighs were strewn about the earth. Severed arms with their ornaments and weapons were scattered about like honeycombs. Warriors running on the battlefield saw several headless bodies that jumped and were still holding their weapons. Such warrior spirit. Even the head was cut off, they were still fighting with their weapons. Before they died, they killed a few, and then died. The warriors discharged so many arrows at each other that the sun became obscured. So many arrows in the sky that the sun became obscured, like a cloud came, All actually they were arrows. Heroes roared like lions, blew conches loudly and fought furiously. Though the combat was terrible and tumultuous, it was pleasurable to the fighters. Yadrichaya chopapannam swargadvaram apavritam sukhina kshatriyah partha labhante yuddhamidrisham. So it is from the Bhagavad Gita in the second chapter. So Krishna is saying, second chapter. So Krishna is saying that Kshatriyas are always looking for the opportunity for battle, dharma yuddha, righteous battle. Because even if they die, they will go to heaven. If they win, they will enjoy the earth. So, it was pleasurable to the fighters, although it was terrible scene, violent scene. Chapter 12. Kārttikeya and Kāli enter the battle. So, what happened? Though the combat was terrible and tumultuous, it was pleasurable to the fighters. Then the demigods were defeated. The first day the demigods were defeated. Many were wounded by weapons and missiles, and frightened, they fled the battlefield. Shankachuda had the upper hand. So chapter 12, Kārttikeya and Kāli enter the battle. So Lord Śiva is still sitting. The demigods returned to Lord Śiva and sought refuge in him. Disturbed, they cried out, "O Lord, please save us, save us." Lord Śiva, noting the demigods' defeat and hearing their fearful cries, became greatly enraged. Glancing at the demigods sympathetically, he assured them of his protection. He ordered his son, the great hero Kārttikeya, to attack the enemy. Kārttikeya was the commander-in-chief of the entire Devatas. The Tamil people, they worship Murugan. He is actually Kārttikeya. They worship him actually. So even the Thaipusam they do here, although it is not exactly according to the Vedic rituals, but they worship Kārttikeya or Murugan, who is actually the commander-in-chief of the demigods. So he is actually son of Lord Śiva. Fighting courageously with the hosts of the demons, Kārttikeya shouted angrily and roared heroically, killing 100 Akshauhinis in the battle. Just like that, he killed 100 Akshauhinis. One Akshauhini, you saw the number, right? Thousands and thousands of so many soldiers and elephants and chariots. 100 Akshauhinis, just like that, Kārttikeya just wiped out of the earth. So just imagine, Mahabharata was only 18 Akshauhinis. 100 Akshauhinis, just like that. Then Kāli, her eyes like a red lotus, chopped off their heads, drank their blood and rapidly ate their flesh. And she had a huge, humongous form. You will see now. She fought in many ways, frightening both the demigods and the demons. She was fighting for the demigods, but even the demigods themselves got afraid by seeing her how she was fighting. Like that she was fighting her, Kāli. Kāli is actually Durga, Lord Shiva's wife, but when she goes into this Bhadrakali mode, super angry mode, then she is uncontrollable in battle. So she was fighting like that. So she fought in many ways, frightening both the demigods and the demons. Wherever she went, she drank the Danava's blood. With one hand she grabbed 10 million elephants and 10 million men and playfully shoved them into her mouth. Just imagine how big her form was. 10 million elephants and 10 million men, just like that. Thousands of headless bodies appeared to be dancing on the battlefield. All the cowards were terrified by the overwhelming tumult. I don't know if anybody in this world can actually see that scene and not run away. Here it said cowards, but who will not be a coward when he sees this kind of scene, So again, Kārttikeya again became furious. Showering countless volleys of arrows, he struck thousands of demon leaders within a few seconds. Terrified, many of the Danavas fled, but those who stayed were slain. The demons Vrishaparva and Viprachitti, Danda and Vikampana fought with Kārttikeya by turns, and all of them were wounded by his spear. Kāli assisted Kārttikeya, and together they won the battle. This time they won the battle. In the heavens, the celestials pounded their drums and showered down flowers. Shankachuda saw the appalling spectacle wrought by Kārttikeya and Kāli. Shankachuda saw it was a spectacle to watch. The war was unprecedented. But at the same time, a Kshatriya, he gets more energized by seeing this kind of violent scene, And he saw the appalling spectacle wrought by Kārttikeya and Kāli. It appeared as terrible as the final dissolution of the world. It appeared as if the world is going to end. Furious, he prepared for battle. Accompanied by many heroes, he climbed into his diamond-studded airplane, which was equipped with weapons and missiles. This enlivened and encouraged his men, especially when Shankachuda, sitting in the middle of the plane, drew his bowstring to his ear and discharged volleys of arrows. The shafts were terrifying and could not be endured. Nobody could get hit by the arrow and then live. They died for sure. They resembled a shower of rain and covered the battlefield with intense darkness. He was, shooting so fast that the sun was completely obscured and it became dark, relieved only by occasional flashes of fire. At this, Nandishvara and other demigods fled. However, Kārttikeya stayed. Kārttikeya is way too valorous to run away from the battlefield. He was a commander-in-chief of the entire demigods. Then the Danava king showered mountains, serpents, pythons and trees so horrendously that they could not be resisted. Thus Kārttikeya looked like the sun covered by thick sheets of frost. Shankachuda broke Kārttikeya's car, cut to pieces his bow, chariot and horses, and shattered his peacock carrier. Then he hurled his effulgent spear at Kārttikeya's chest, and the force of the blow caused him to fall unconscious. Kārttikeya fell unconscious. Quickly regaining consciousness, Kārttikeya mounted his sturdy bejeweled chariot, took up his weapons and missiles and fought awesomely. Using his mystic weapons, he furiously split the demons that had been hurled at him, namely the serpents, mountains, trees and rocks. Then he put out a fire with his water weapon, split apart the demon's bow and chariot and killed his charioteer. Roaring and shouting repeatedly like a hero, he split Shankachuda's armor and crown and then hurled his blazing spear at the demon's chest. Shankachuda collapsed unconscious. This time Shankachuda fell down, unconscious. Both were such heroic warriors. But within a second, mind you, the Shankachuda was such a furious warrior that Lord Śiva said even previous demons like Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu and Madhu, Kaitabha, all these demons are no match for you, Shankachuda. That powerful he was. But within a second, that powerful Asura regained consciousness and with the strength of a lion got up and roared. The demon grabbed another bow and more arrows and mounted another chariot. Foremost in the use of mystic weapons, the demon caused a tremendous downpour of arrows on Kārttikeya that completely enshrouded him. Then the demon grabbed an invincible iron spear which was filled with Lord Viṣṇu's energy. It was radiant like 100 suns and looked like the vast fire that occurs at the end of the world. Shankachuda hurled it at Kārttikeya and it hit him with the impact of a massive fireball, causing him to drop unconscious. Again, now Kārttikeya fell down. Although such powerful weapon, he did not die, he just fell unconscious. Just see how strong they were. Kāli immediately went to him, lifted her son to her breast and carried him to Lord Śiva. By virtue of his deep knowledge, Lord Śiva revived Kārttikeya and endowed him with inexhaustible strength. He then got up full of vigor but remained guarded by Lord Śiva. He got up full of vigor again, but he was sitting at Lord Shiva's side while Kāli again went back to battle. Kāli, followed by Nandishvara, the Gandharvas, the Yakshas, the Rakshasas and Kinnaras, returned to the battlefield. Hundreds of war drums were pounded and hundreds of persons carried wine. When Kāli began to roar like a lioness, the demons fainted. Seeing this, she burst into cackles of laughter repeatedly, boding ill to the Asuras. Then Kāli drank wine and danced on the battlefield, and the yoginis, dakinis and the demigods around. Dakinis means all the ghosts. She had all the ghosts around her. All of them were fighting the war. All the yoginis, dakinis and demigods also drank, roaring and reveling. When Shankachuda saw Kāli, he hastened to the field. Though his men were frightened by her, he assured them of his protection. Jai Sri Radha Madan Mohan ki Jai. Kāli then hurled a fire weapon and it shot over the field like the fire that manifests when the world is about to come to an end of final devastation. But the king shot a water weapon at it and quickly extinguished it. Kāli hurled the Varuna weapon at him, but he baffled it with the Gandharva weapon. Kāli threw the Maheshwar weapon, but he destroyed it with Vaishnava weapon. Then, after uttering some mantras, Kāli discharged the Narayana weapon. Seeing it coming at him, Narayana weapon has no counteraction. So what he did, seeing it coming at him, the king jumped off his chariot and bowed down to it. So what happened? Causing the weapon to zoom upwards like the fire of final dissolution. The arrow was coming at him, the missile, and it cannot be resisted. The only way to resist is you bow down to the weapon and it will not hit you. So he bowed down immediately. He on the ground and it zoomed upwards and it exploded in the sky like the fire of the final devastation. The demon, full of devotion, fell prostrate on the ground. The goddess recited a mantra and hurled a Brahmastra at him, but he baffled it with his own Brahmastra. Then she threw a weapon at him that was 8 miles long, but Shankachuda cut it to pieces with his celestial weapon. Infuriated, the demon discharged celestial missiles at the goddess, but she merely opened her mouth wide, swallowed them and roared with loud laughter. Celestial missiles, divine weapons he threw. She just opened her mouth wide and swallowed all the weapons and laughing. This terrified the demons. Shankachuda then hurled a weapon at her that was 800 miles long. How to even hold a weapon 800 miles long? She threw a weapon that was 8 miles long. It was already long enough. But this was 800 miles. That means the distance between him and Kāli was more than 800 miles. That far they were standing and fighting, you see. And he threw a weapon 800 miles long. How did he even throw it? Wow. But she shattered it into 100 pieces with celestial missiles. He flung the Vaishnava missile at the goddess, but she blocked it with the Maheshwar missile. The fight continued for a long time, and all the demigods and demons stood watching it. They were having fun time, watching. Kāli was now infuriated, just as she readied herself to throw the Pashupata weapon. Pashupata weapon is invincible weapon also. A heavenly voice from the sky cried out, "O goddess, do not throw this missile at Shankachuda. So long as Lord Hari's amulet remains on his neck and his wife's chastity is not violated, the king cannot be killed, even by the never-failing Pashupata weapon." Lord Brahma gave him this boon. Kāli heeded the voice and desisted from hurling the weapon. But out of hunger, she devoured millions of demons. She was feeling hungry and she just put millions of demons in her mouth. She then hastened to devour Shankachuda, but he resisted her with his sharp celestial weapons. She next aimed a scimitar at him that flashed like the noonday sun, but the king cut it to pieces. So she ran after him to swallow him, but the skillful demon prevented her by expanding his body. Highly enraged, the dreadful goddess smashed his chariot, killed his charioteer, and hurled a terrible spear at him, one that looked like the awesome fire that occurs when the world is about to end. But the king caught it with his left hand. The goddess then angrily struck him with her fists and caused the demon enough pain to make him reel and fall unconscious for a moment. Regaining consciousness, he got up, but he would not engage in hand-to-hand combat with Kāli. Rather, he bowed down to her. You see, even at this war, he bowed down to her, taking her to be a mother. The goddess then threw other weapons at Shankachuda, but he partly cut them down and partly took them up and absorbed them, rendering them futile. Regarding her as his mother, he did not aim any weapons at her. Then Kāli caught hold of him, whirled him around repeatedly and angrily flung him into the sky. The demon came down with a tremendous crash, but he immediately got up and bowed to the goddess. He did not break or did not die. She threw him in the sky and he fell down, and then he bowed down to her and got up again. Next, he gladly climbed up onto another stunning jewel chariot and, feeling no fatigue at all from the battle, continued fighting. Then Kāli, feeling hungry, began drinking the blood and eating the fat of and flesh of the demons. After this, the goddess returned to Lord Śiva and described to him in detail the progression of the war from beginning to end. Hearing about the demise of the demons, Lord Śiva laughed. Kāli remarked that the only demons alive were the ones who crawled out of her mouth while she was chewing them, which amounted to about 100,000. And when I took hold of the Pashupata weapon to kill Shankachuda, an invisible celestial voice cried, "He cannot be killed by you." Then this is what she said to Lord Śiva. Then the powerful demon stopped hurling weapons at me. All he did was shatter those which I hurled at him. Chapter 13, Lord Śiva enters the battle. The climax. After hearing the goddess report, Lord Śiva, versed in the highest knowledge, went with his entire retinue into battle. He sat on his great bull and was encircled by Virabhadra and others, as well as the Bhairavas and the Kshetrapalas, all equal to him in valor. As Lord Śiva entered the battleground, he assumed a heroic form and shone well as the incarnation form of the destroyer. When Shankachuda saw him, he alighted from his aerial chariot. He had an aerial chariot. That means it was not just having wheels, it was aerial in the sky. He got down, alighted from his aerial chariot and offered obeisance to him by lying flat on the ground. Then he got up, quickly returned to his chariot, and seizing his bow and arrows, readied himself for the fight. The fight lasted for a year. The two heroes showered arrows fiercely on one another the way clouds continuously pelt the earth with rain. When Shankachuda playfully shot dreadful arrows, Lord Śiva split them all with his own arrows. Lord Śiva hit the demon's limbs with various weapons. Shankachuda then grabbed his sword and shield, hastened towards Lord Shiva's sacred bull and hit it on the head. Seeing this, Lord Śiva smashed that sword and the shining shield by his Kshurapra weapon. Then the demon threw his spear at Lord Śiva, shot an arrow at it, but Lord Śiva shot an arrow at it and split it in half. Shankachuda, now infuriated, flung a discus, but Lord Śiva punched it with his fist and splattered it. The demon threw his club vigorously at Lord Śiva, however, Śiva split it apart and reduced it to ashes. Grabbing an axe, Shankhachuda rushed toward Lord Śiva, but Śiva released such a volley of arrows at him that he fell unconscious. The Dānava quickly regained consciousness and mounted his beautiful chariot. Covering the whole sky, he shone resplendently with his mystic weapons and arrows. When Lord Śiva saw him coming toward him, he pounded his drum, the damaru, with enthusiasm and twanged his bowstring with a loud sound. Lord Śiva filled all four quarters with the sound of his horn and then, roaring loudly, frightened the demons. Next, the noble bull bellowed thunderously, filling the sky, earth and 8 quarters and shaming the proud trumpeting elephants. The trumpeting of the elephants became insignificant compared to the Nandi of the Lord Śiva. The sound that the Nandi made. Lord Śiva surpassed all previous sounds by clapping the earth and the sky. The warriors emitted a raucous laughing sound, portending ill for the Asuras. Śiva also roared in that mighty battle. The demons were frightened by these piercing and dreadful sounds. However, the Dānava king, Shankhachuda, became extremely angry. Lord Śiva shouted, "O wicked one, stay, stay!" And the gods and his companions quickly shouted, "Victory, victory!" Shankhachuda then hurled at Lord Śiva his awesome flame-shooting spear. As it travelled, it blazed brilliantly like a mighty fire. However, one of Lord Śiva's followers shot a meteor at it and stopped it. As the battle between Lord Śiva and the demon king continued, the heavens, earth, mountains, oceans and the rivers shook and trembled. Lord Śiva split apart hundreds of thousands of Shankhachuda's arrows, and the king did the same to Lord Śiva's shafts. Then the infuriated Śiva hit Shankhachuda with his trident and knocked him unconscious. But quickly regaining consciousness, he grabbed his bow. They get knocked down and then quickly get up again and again. He grabbed his bow, discharged some arrows and hit Lord Śiva and his assistants. Then by means of magic, the Asura assumed 10,000 arms and quickly surrounded Lord Śiva with 10,000 disc. But Lord Śiva shot wonderful arrows at them and split them all apart. All the 10,000. Shankhachuda next seized his mace and, accompanied by a massive army, charged Lord Śiva with the intention of destroying him. However, Lord Śiva split the mace, making the Dānava furious. The demon then seized a spear and that to the enemy blazed unbearably. As he neared Lord Śiva, the latter hit him in the chest with his trident. Then a huge valorous being came out of the demon's chest and said, "Stand by, stand by." What happened? Lord Śiva hit him on the chest with his trident. From the chest of Shankhachuda, a huge valorous being came out from the demon's chest and said, "Stand by, stand by." Lord Śiva laughed loudly and with his sword cut off the fearsome head that was emerging, and it fell to the ground. Spreading his mouth, you see how horrendous this whole scene is. Spreading her mouth wide open, Kāli angrily consumed countless demons, crushing their heads with her fierce fangs. Such a huge form she took. The enraged Kshetrapala consumed many other demons, and Lord Śiva shot missiles at some and killed them. Others were just wounded. Veerabhadra and Nandishvara destroyed many other demons. Thus, a major portion of Shankhachuda's army was killed, while many of his terrified troops cowardly fled the battlefield. But Shankhachuda stood firm and said to Lord Śiva, "I am here ready to fight with you, come on." He was just an awesome warrior. "I am here ready to fight with you, come on." He was shouting at Lord Śiva. "So what if many of my men have been killed? Fight me face to face." How chivalrous he was. He was a cowherd boy, just playing some games with Kṛṣṇa, and then when he came here, you see how powerful he was. So, the Lord's devotees, they may be engaging in very loving pastimes with the Lord, but if needed, they can act in the most adventurous and the most courageous way. Even the gopis, even like for example Rupa Goswami or Sanatana Goswami, they were all gopis, and they were such scholars when they came into this world. In the Goloka Vrindavan, they were only helping like Radharani. It looks like no need of much scholarship, no, but they are full with knowledge. When they come here and they want to execute the Lord's mission, whether they had to be scholars, whether they had to be exceptional fighters, whatever it is, when they are empowered in different ways, they exhibit to the maximum. And Shankhachuda also is displaying his maximum chivalrous nature. And Shankhachuda, chapter 14, Lord Viṣṇu appears. Shankhachuda threw mystic missiles at Lord Śiva. He also, like a cloud pouring rain, showered arrows on him. He used different kinds of illusory methods that were invisible and bewildering to the demigods and Lord Shiva's followers. Seeing this, Lord Śiva released his supernatural Maheshwar missiles, and these quickly destroyed the illusions, divesting them of their brilliance. Then the powerful Lord Śiva suddenly grabbed his trident, a trident that could not be withstood even by great persons, so as to slay Shankhachuda. But to stop him, an unembodied heavenly voice boomed, "O Śiva, do not throw the trident now. Listen to this request. There is no doubt that you are able to destroy the universe in a second." See, Lord Śiva is fighting with the Shankhachuda for so long, 1 year. But actually he can destroy the entire universe in a second. But he is just, this is a pastime. He is just playing along with Shankhachuda. So the unembodied voice, there was nobody, but voice came. There is no doubt that you are able to destroy the universe in a second. So what would be the difficulty in destroying this one Danava, Shankhachuda? Still, you should not ignore the rules of the Vedas. O great one, rather make it truthful and fruitful. Understand that Lord Brahma has stated that as long as Shankhachuda wears the armor of Lord Viṣṇu, namely the amulet around his neck, and as long as his wife maintains her marital faithfulness, he can neither die nor grow old. He is under these boons. Therefore, please make these boons truthful by not violating them. See, he was actually powerful enough to violate them. But the request came from from I think Viṣṇu. It sounded like Viṣṇu now, or Brahma. So he's please make these true. Lord Śiva replied, "So be it, tathastu." At that time, Lord Śiva desired to see Lord Viṣṇu, and so Lord Viṣṇu appeared there. Lord Śiva told him what he desired, and Lord Viṣṇu agreed to help him. So, dressed as an aged Brahmana, Lord Viṣṇu, foremost in mystic power, approached Shankhachuda and requested, "O King of the Danavas, please grant my request." He was right in the middle of a battle. But the Brahmana, when he went there, Shankhachuda gave charity. This is the Brahmanical culture, and the Kshatriyas respected Brahmanas like this. Even in the middle of a battlefield, when a Brahmana came and asked for charity, the Kshatriyas had to give. No, I am fighting a battle, you wait. No, they cannot disrespect the Brahmanas like this. So, please grant my request. You give away in charity all kinds of wealth and riches, so please grant me what I desire. I am a quiet, peaceful, aged Brahmana. I am very hungry and thirsty, but first make your promise, then I will tell you what I want. The king, with a kind face and a pleasing eye, swore to him that he would give him whatever he asked for. So the Brahmana said affectionately, "I would like your amulet." Shankhachuda, a well-wisher of the Brahmanas who spoke the truth, thus handed over to the disguised Lord Viṣṇu his divine amulet. Without hesitation, you see. Even though he knew what it meant, that he would lose maybe the supremacy, he would lose in the battle, never mind. Whatever I have to do, if I have to respect the Brahmanas, even if it means my defeat, so be it. He just gave it. Then Lord Viṣṇu assumed the form of Shankhachuda. Now you see what he did. He got the amulet from Shankhachuda. Now he went out of the battlefield. Now he changed his form to look like Shankhachuda himself. And then what he did. Then Lord Viṣṇu assumed the form of Shankhachuda and went to Tulasī-devi's palace. So this fight that was going on between him and Lord Śiva, Shankhachuda and Lord Śiva, this was outside. They don't find the fight in the cities. They will designate a certain place as a battlefield, and there they will fight. So this was way outside, way away from the palace. So for 1 year, Tulasī was away from Shankhachuda. And Lord Viṣṇu assumed the form of Shankhachuda. So of course he can change into any form he wants. So he became like Shankhachuda. And he went to Tulasī-devi's palace. When he approached the entrance, he created the appearance of a victory homecoming, causing others to beat their drums and to shout victory. He is a Paramatma. Kṛṣṇa is Paramatma anyway, Viṣṇu. So he made all the guards and everybody in the city, made them beat the drums and made a look as if it was a victory homecoming. So, and to shout victory, victory, Jai, Jai. Then Tulasī-devi was awakened from sleep. She was actually sleeping. On hearing the sounds, the chaste woman was ecstatic. "Oh, my husband has become victorious in the battle." She eagerly peeped through the windows onto the road. When she realized that her husband had returned, she observed all auspicious rites and offered cash gifts to the Brahmanas. She gave charity to the Brahmanas. This is how people celebrate in the Vedic culture. When anything good happens, they immediately give charity to the Brahmanas, and in this way. So she gave money and gold and everything to Brahmanas. Then she beautified herself. Lord Viṣṇu went to Tulasi's apartment. When she saw the Lord and thought he was her husband, she was gladdened. She bathed his feet, offered obeisances to him, and sobbed. She cried. Then she had him sit on the jewel throne and handed him the auspicious betel leaf that had been made fragrant with camphor. She said, "Today my life has become happy, for my beloved who went to fight has now returned home." Because Kshatriya either two things, either they return home victorious or they die on the battlefield. So when a Kshatriya goes, the wife has to expect that maybe he will die on the battlefield. But when they return home, it is a huge cause of celebration for the wives of the Kshatriyas, the Kshatranis. So drinking him in with wide eyes and a smiling face, Tulasī-devī sweetly asked him about the events of the battle. "My lord, how did you do in the battle with Lord Śiva? He is the protector of the demigods and the annihilator of countless universes. You have returned cheerfully after defeating the great Lord. How did you beat him? Tell me all about it." Lord Viṣṇu laughed and said sweetly, "When I reached the battlefield, there was a terrible clamor. A big battle then followed. The demigods fought the demons and each side was eager for victory. The demigods defeated the demons, but then I fought the powerful demigods. Those whom I defeated sought shelter of Lord Śiva. Then Lord Śiva, to help them, fought me for a long time. My dear wife, Lord Śiva and I fought continuously for a year. All the demons were killed. Then Lord Brahma made us agree to peace." You see, he is lying. Then Lord Brahma made us agree to peace. Thus, at Lord Brahma's order, the powers of authority were reassigned to the demigods. So I have come home and Lord Śiva has gone to Shivaloka. All have returned to health and normalcy. Thus the trouble has ended. He lied. without a wink, he lied. But Lord Śiva lying, Lord Viṣṇu lying, it's transcendental. Then Lord Viṣṇu then lay down on the bed with Tulasī-devī and became close with her. He became intimate. They both became intimate. So when the Kshatriyas come home from battle like that, victorious, then the wives, they please the husband with in the bed. So Lord Viṣṇu slept with Tulasi. Chapter 15, the final battle. At this time, while this was going on in the Tulasī-devi's apartment on the battlefield, King Shankhachuda approached Lord Śiva without his armor. The latter seized his blazing trident to slay the demon. The trident's name was Vijaya, and it was as bright as 100 summer suns. The front of it was presided over by Lord Narayana, the middle by Lord Brahma, and the root by Lord Śiva, and the edge by time. Huge mystical trident that Lord Narayana gave him. It was bright like the fire of devastation at the end of the world, dauntless, irresistible, fixed and destructive in its aim. In brilliance, it equaled the Sudarshan Chakra, and it was the topmost of all weapons. No one but Lord Viṣṇu or Lord Śiva could wield it, and all but them were afraid of it. The trident was 14,000 cubits long and 100 cubits wide. What is a cubit? What is a cubit? Maybe somebody can do a research and put in the comment section what is a cubit and how many meters it is. I don't know. I'll not. Maybe somebody can help me with that in the comment section. So it was such a huge trident. Trishul. Trident means, like shaft and then three. Trishul. One could not tell from where and how it proceeded. By its own will, this trident could destroy all the worlds. Lord Śiva raised the trident high, hurled it at Shankhachuda. Seeing it coming, the demon king dropped his bow and arrows, collected his mind and sat down in a yoga posture, like this, and meditated on the lotus feet of Lord Kṛṣṇa with great devotion. He knew. He already went without an armor. He knew his death was just there. And he sat with, in a yoga posture and waited for the weapon. The trident whirled around Shankhachuda's head for a while. Then, at Lord Śiva's command, it smashed into the demon's head and burned him and his chariot to ashes. Thereafter, the trident returned to Lord Śiva and then left for the airways at the speed of the mind and finally returned with force and gladness to Lord Narayana. See? So it was encircling him, the demon, and then he smashed his head and his chariot to ashes. Thereafter returned to Lord Śiva and then left for the airways at the speed of the mind, much faster than even light, and finally returned with force and gladness to Lord Narayan. In the heavens, the celestials beat their drums, the Gandharvas and Kinnaras sang, the sages and demigods chanted eulogies, and all the damsels danced. Flowers continuously rained down upon Lord Śiva and Lord Viṣṇu, Brahma and Indra and other notables praised him. Out of compassion, Lord Śiva tossed the demons' bones into the sea, and these bones became transformed into all the conch shells of the world. The conch shell that we blow is actually coming from the bones of the Shankhachuda. So Shankha means the conch shell. They are always considered very holy and favorable in the worship of the demigods and even Krishna. The water in the conch is also considered very sacred and satisfying to the demigods, it is as sacred as the water in any holy river. It can be offered to all the demigods but not to Lord Śiva. Wherever the conch is blown, Lakshmi dwells there with great delight. If one bathes with the conch water, this is equivalent to bathing in all the holy rivers. Wherever the conch is placed, Lord Hare and Goddess Lakshmi live there, and all inauspicious things disappear from that place. However, wherever the females and Shudras blow the conch, Goddess Lakshmi becomes annoyed and out of fear travels to other places. Of course, Prabhupada allowed women devotees to blow the conch and do the Ārati. But Shastra says like this, Brahma, Vaivarta, Purāṇa. Lord Śiva then mounted his bull carrier and with all his followers returned to his own residence. All the demigods also returned to their abodes with great joy. Before leaving, Lord Śiva favored Shankhachuda by releasing him from his curse, and thus he regained his original form as the cowherd boy Sudama. Adorned with jewels, holding a flute, mounted on a divine chariot and surrounded by numerous cowherd boys from Golok Vrindavan, Shankhachuda then flew to the spiritual sky Goloka, which is full of devotees of Lord Kṛṣṇa who have various transcendental relationships with him. When Sudama saw Srimati Radharani and Sri Kṛṣṇa in Golok Vrindavan, he bowed down to their lotus feet with devotion. Seeing him, the divine couple were filled with love for him and with kind faces and joyful eyes lifted him up and took him on their laps. Chapter 16, Tulasī curses Lord Viṣṇu. In the meantime, Tulasī is still in the material world. Meanwhile, at the palace, Tulasī-devī was still lying on the bed with Lord Viṣṇu, who was still disguised as Shankhachuda, whereas Shankhachuda already went back to Golok Vrindavan. She suddenly realized that there was a distinct difference in the way her husband had expressed his affection to her in the past from the way he had just expressed it. So a woman can sense by the way her husband, of course, Lord Viṣṇu, being Lord Viṣṇu, he could have exactly mimicked Shankhachuda's exact way, mannerisms, and how he expresses his love. Of course, it's possible for him, but he purposely did it differently so that Tulasī will get upset. So, there was a difference in the expression of love. This made her suspicious, and she began to wonder whether the man with whom she had just been intimate was really her husband. Then, not feeling the same happiness, affection and attraction, she looked at him distrustfully and said, You are not. Realizing in the core of her heart that he was not her husband, she asked, Who are you? Tulasī-devī became angry. Yes, who are you? I want to know immediately, for I know you have deceived me to enjoy me. You have outraged my modesty. For this I shall curse you. Lord Viṣṇu then assumed his own true beautiful form. Tulasī saw the Lord of the demigods before her. Her complexion was deep blue like fresh rain clouds. Her eyes were like autumnal lotuses. His eyes were like autumnal lotuses. And he was decked with jewels and ornaments. His smiling face looked very gracious and he wore a yellow robe. Seeing Vasudeva's handsome form, Tulasī fainted. So Tulasī saw the handsome Vasudeva's form and fainted. A moment later, she regained consciousness and said, Oh Lord, you are like a stone, you are merciless, you have violated my chastity by deception, and by this means you have killed my husband. So she knew that if her chastity is violated, her husband would die. So in this way you have killed my husband. Oh Lord, you are merciless. Yes, your heart is like a stone. Therefore I curse you to become a stone. Those who call you holy are doubtlessly wrong. Your devotee committed no offense, and yet for the sake of others you killed him. Why? Overpowered with grief and sadness, Tulasi cried loudly and repeatedly lamented. Seeing her so upset, Narayana, who is an ocean of mercy, tried to console her according to dharmic rules. He said, O exalted one, you performed austerities for a long time to get me as your husband, and Shankachuda also performed austerities for a long time to get you as his wife. By that austerity he fulfilled his wish. It was then necessary for me to fulfill your wish. For this reason I did what I did. Now leave your earthly body and assume a spiritual body and be married to me. Be like Lakshmi. Your body will become a famous river known as Gandaki, a virtuous, pure and transparent river in this holy land of India, Bharatvarsh. Your hairs will be transformed into holy trees, and since the trees will be born of you, they will be known as Tulasi trees. So the hair of her body, he asked her to shed her earthly body, and her body will become the Gandaki river, which is now in Nepal. And her hairs will become the Tulasi trees. All the residents of the three worlds will perform worship with the leaves and flowers of this tree. Thus you, Tulasi, will reign as the best among trees and flowers. Chapter 17. Blessings Tulasī-devī will bestow. Lord Narayana continued. He was speaking to Tulasi still. The sanctifying Tulasi tree will grow in Goloka on the east of the Viraja river, on the Rasa dance site in the forests of Vrindavan, Bhandirvan, Champakavan, Chandana, and in the groves of Madhavi, Ketaki, Kunda, Mallika and Malati. You will live in sacred places and bestow the highest religious merit. All the holy spots will converge and reside at the root of the Tulasi tree. All the holy spots will converge and reside at the root of the Tulasi tree. And thus spiritual merits will accrue to all. O fair one, all the demigods and I will wait there to gather the falling Tulasi leaves. Whoever will be moistened or anointed with the water that has been sanctified by Tulasi leaves will reap the benefits of having bathed in all the sacred rivers and performed all kinds of sacrifices. Lord Hare will not be as pleased with the gift of 1,000 jars of honey as with one Tulasi leaf. Offering one such leaf as a gift will bring the same reward obtained by offering millions of cows. If one offers Tulasi leaves during the month of Kartik, he gets the same rewards as those just mentioned. If at the time of death one drinks or gets the Tulasi leaf water, means water in which Tulasi, like in our Charanamrit we put Tulasi, and in our, if you see in our Prasadam hall, also the water jug will be there with Tulasi leaves in it. So that water, if at the time of death one drinks, one will be freed of all his sins and proceed to Vaikuntha. Whoever drinks the Tulasi leaf water daily will be redeemed in his lifetime and receive the benefit of a dip in the Ganges. Whoever plucks a Tulasi leaf, keeps it on his person and then leaves his body in a holy place will go to Viṣṇu Loka. That's why we wear Tulasi Mala also. So if it touches our body when we are dying, we know Yamaraj servants cannot touch that soul. Anyone who leaves his body holding a Tulasi leaf in his hands will be saved from all sins. Anyone who worships me with his leaf daily will reap the blessings of 100,000 horse sacrifices. Anyone who wears a necklace composed of Tulasi wood will surely at every step get the reward of a horse sacrifice. Whoever breaks his promise, this is opposite now, whoever breaks his promise while holding the Tulasi leaf will go to the Kāla hell for as long as the sun and moon last. Anyone who gives false evidence in the presence of the Tulasi leaf will go to the Kumbhipaka hell for as long as the spans of 14 Indras, that means 1 day of Brahma, 4.32 billion years. He will be in the Kumbhipaka hell. Whoever at the time of death drinks or gets a little Tulasi leaf water will certainly proceed to Vaikuntha living in a jeweled airplane. Lord Hare will decapitate that person who on the day of the new moon or the full moon or on the 12th or the last day of the lunar month or after being anointed with oil just before taking a bath or at noon, night, daybreak or sundown or in a state of impurity or in one's night dress will cull or pluck the Tulasi leaf. So we cannot pluck the Tulasi leaf on the day of the new moon or the full moon and on the Dwadasi and on the last day of the lunar month or after being anointed with oil just before taking a bath or at noon, the 3 sandhyas, the daybreak, dawn, noon and dusk, and also in the night time. We cannot pluck the leaf of the Tulasi plant. Or in a state of impurity or in one's night dress. State of impurity means, especially for women, in the state of monthly cycles, or when somebody dies in the family, usually there is an impurity period. So in that, or in one's night dress, will cull or pluck the tulsi leaf, then he will, Lord Hare is not happy. So therefore the devotee should not do that. O chaste one, even if such a leaf is kept for 3 nights and becomes dry, it can still be employed in connection with funeral ceremonies, vows, gifts, consecration of temples, and the worship of demigods. Here it is said worship of demigods, but Prabhupada specifically said that this leaf has to be offered only at the feet of Lord Viṣṇu, not even at the feet of Radharani. At the hand of Radharani, yes, but not at the feet of Radharani. So, worship of demigods means the leaf must already be offered to Viṣṇu and then offered to the demigods. That way, yes. If tulsi leaves that were offered to Viṣṇu have fallen on the ground or on water, are then properly washed, they may still be used for other sacred purposes. Now, usually when a flower falls, we throw the flower. But tulsi leaf, that has been offered to Viṣṇu, it can be still used for sacred purposes. And it is said that even the tulsi leaf, even if falls, we can just wash it and then still be used. It is so pure. If tulsi leaves that were offered to Lord Viṣṇu, we have already read this, you will always be the presiding deity of the tulsi plant here on earth. And at the same time, you will always sport with Sri Krishna in solitude in Goloka. See, she got what she was originally doing. She was having a relationship with Krishna in solitude. You will get that, and at the same time, you will exist here in this world as a plant and as the most purifying plant. You will also be the presiding deity of the Gandaki river and thereby shower Bharatvarsh with religious merit. You will further be the wife of the ocean of salt, which is my partial expansion. So the ocean is a partial expansion, the Samudra is a partial expansion of Lord Narayana. So the rivers are considered the wives of the ocean, because the rivers come to the ocean anyway, just like the wife is coming to the husband. So Samudra is the husband, the ocean is the husband, and the rivers are the wives. So this Gandaki river also will go to the ocean. So therefore, she is the wife of Lavana, ocean. Lavana means salt. O chaste goddess, you will always remain personally by my side and enjoy my company as Lakshmi does. Chapter 18, Blessings of the Śālagrāma. The Lord Hare continued, as for me, by your curse, I will become a stone and remain close to the bank of the Gandaki river. That's why in the Nepal, in the Gandaki river, there are so many Śālagrāmas there. And how the Śālagrāmas get, formed, here it is said, I will become a stone and remain close to the bank of the Gandaki river. Millions of Vajrakita worms with their sharp teeth will make convolutions or rings in the stones there, chakras, representing me. These will be known as Śālagrāmas or sacred stones. So there is millions of Vajrakita worms near that place. And with their sharp teeth, they will break the stone and make chakra formations. And these chakras will represent me, he said. These will be known as Śālagrāmas or sacred stones. Those stones which have one entrance hole, 4 rings, chakras, are marked with a garland of wild flowers and look like a fresh rain cloud, will be known as Lakshmi Narayan Murtis or forms. So different types of marks on the Śālagrāma Śilā will mean different. So like this is Narasimha Śilā, this is Matsya Śilā, this is Kurma Śilā, this is Lakshmi Narayana Śilā. So like this, how to identify is also given here. So those stones that have one entrance hole, 4 rings, chakras, look like fresh rain clouds but have no garland mark will be called Lakshmi Janardhan chakras. Those that have 2 entrance holes, 4 rings, chakras, are impressed with the marks of cow hooves but have no garland mark will be called Raghunath chakras. Those that are very small, have 2 rings, chakras, look like fresh rain clouds but have no garland mark will be called Vamana chakras, Vamana Shilas or chakras. They shall be auspicious to householders. Those stones that are very small, have 2 rings and a garland mark will be called Sridhara chakras. They will bring prosperity to householders. Those stones that are large, circular, have 2 rings but no garland mark will be known as Damodar chakras. Those that are medium large, have 2 rings, have the marks of arrows and quivers will be known as Ranarama chakras. Those that are medium-sized, have 7 rings, and have the marks of an umbrella and ornaments will be called Rajarajeshwaras, the king of kings, chakras, and give royal prosperity to the people. Those that are large, have 14 wheels, chakras, look like fresh rain clouds, will be called Ananta chakras. They will bestow the fourfold fruits, Artha, Kama, Dharma and Moksha, wealth, pleasure, righteousness and liberation. Those that are spherical, beautiful, medium, large, have 2 rings, look like rain clouds and are marked with cow hooves will be called Madhusudan chakras. Those that have 1 ring, chakra, will be called Sudarshan chakras. Those that have their rings, chakras hidden will be called Gadadhar chakras. Sometimes the chakras are inside the stone, hidden. Those that have 2 rings, chakras, and the face of a horse will be called Hayagrivas. Those that have 2 rings, their mouths wide, very wide and extended, and look very terrifying, will be called Narsimhas. They will bestow detachment on the worshippers. Those that have 2 rings, extended mouths and garland marks, elliptical, will be called Lakshmi Narsimhas. They will bestow blessings on the householders who worship them. Those that have near their doors 2 rings that are of equal size and beautiful with manifested marks will be known as Vasudevas. They will fulfill all desires. Those that have a thin ring, look like fresh rain clouds and have many fine holes within their wide gaping facets will be called Pradyumnas. They will give happiness to all householders. Those whose rings are united and whose backs are capacious will be called Sankarshanas. They will always bestow happiness to householders. Those that look yellow, round and very beautiful will be known as Aniruddhas. They also will give happiness to householders. Wherever there are Śālagrāma stones, Lord Hare himself exists. And wherever Lord Hare is, Goddess Lakshmi and all the holy places also exist. By worshipping the Śālagrāma Śilā, one destroys the sin of having killed a Brahmana and any other type of sin. By worshipping Śālagrāma stones of the following shapes, the following effects take place. So these are all there, but we worship Śālagrāma Śilā as Viṣṇu, and like that we worship. If a stone looks like an umbrella, one may obtain a kingdom. If the stone looks round, great prosperity. If it is cart-shaped, miseries. If its ends are spear-shaped, death. If its facets are distorted, poverty. If it is yellow, evils and afflictions. If its rings look broken, diseases. If its rings are split into fragments, certain death. If one observes vows, offers gifts, consecrates a temple, performs shraddha or funeral ceremonies or worships the demigods before the Śālagrāma Śilā, all these acts become highly exalted. If one worships the Śālagrāma Śilā, one acquires the merits of bathing in all the tirthas, holy rivers, and being initiated into all the Vedic sacrifices. Furthermore, one acquires all the merits acquired by performing all the Vedic sacrifices, by visiting all the holy places, by fulfilling vows, by practicing all austerities and reading all the Vedas. Whoever performs his Abhishek, bathing ceremony, Śālagrāma Abhishek, always with Śālagrāma water, being sprinkled with this water at the initiation and installation ceremonies, acquires the spiritual merits gained by offering all sorts of gifts and walking around the entire earth. Without a doubt, the demigods are pleased with the person who daily worships the Śālagrāma Śilā. He becomes so holy that even all the holy places desire his touch. He becomes a Jivan Mukta, liberated while in his physical body and very godly. Ultimately, he goes to Vaikuntha and serves Lord Hari there eternally. Any sin such as the killing of a Brahmana flies away from him just as snakes flee at the sight of Garuda, Lord Vishnu's eagle carrier. The earth is consecrated by the dust of his feet. By his birth, one redeems 100,000 of his ancestors. That means the person who worships Śālagrāma, he redeems 100,000 of his ancestors. Anyone who, while dying, drinks the Śālagrāma Śilā water, that means the Charanamrita from Śālagrāma Śilā, will be freed from all his sins and go to Vaikuntha. Charanamrita, basically. He becomes completely freed from the effects of karma, material action and reaction, and without a doubt becomes forever absorbed in the vision of Lord Vishnu's feet. Anyone who lies, that means he tells lies, while holding the Śālagrāma in his hands, go to Kumbhipaka hell for as long as Lord Brahma is alive, 311 trillion and 40 billion earth years. If one breaks his promise while holding the Śālagrāma in his hand, he goes to the Asipatra hell for 100,000 manvantras. Wow. He who worships the Śālagrāma Śilā without offering tulsi leaves on it, or who separates the leaves from the stone, will have to suffer separation from his wife in the next birth. And if one does not offer tulsi leaves in a conch, he remains without his wife for 7 births and becomes diseased. he who maintains the Śālagrāma Śilā, the Tulasī and the conch in one place becomes very dear to Lord Narayana. It is painful for a person to separate from his beloved, whose company he once enjoyed. You were the dearmost of Shankachuda for one manvantara. Now Lord Narayana is telling Tulasī, it is painful for a person to separate from his beloved, whose company he once enjoyed. You, Tulasī, were the dearmost of Shankachuda for one manvantara. So it is now very difficult for you to separate from him. Chapter 19, Tulasī returns to the spiritual world. When Lord Hare stopped speaking, Tulasī left her physical body, assumed a celestial form and went to Vaikuntha. There she remained in the heart of Sri Hare, as did goddess Lakshmi. Lord Hare also went with her to Vaikuntha. As soon as Tulasī-devī quit her physical body, this body became the Gandaki river, and Lord Hare manifested himself as the mountain on the bank of that river, giving spiritual merit to the people. The worms on that mountain, the Vajrakita worms, cut and fashion, that is, construct various kinds of stones. Those that fall into the river and assume the color of clouds without a doubt yield results, but those that drop onto the dry land become brown by the sun's rays and unfit for worship. Lord Hare duly honored Tulasī and began to sport with her along with goddess Lakshmi. Now this is in the Vaikuntha world. Lord Hare duly honored Tulasī, began to sport with her along with goddess Lakshmi. He elevated Tulasī to the rank of Lakshmi, making her blessed and glorious. Lakshmi and goddess Ganga allowed and tolerated this new union of Lord Narayana and Tulasī. However, goddess Saraswati became angered and could not tolerate Tulasī's elevated position. So, all the demigods that are here in this material world, they have their counterparts in the spiritual world. Like, there is a spiritual Ganesh in the spiritual world. He's called, what is this called? He has a name, starts with V, I think I have forgotten the name. So Lord Ganesh also is in the spiritual world. So I think maybe Viṣṇu Prabhu or somebody will come to my rescue. So Lord Ganesh and all the demigods, they have spiritual forms. I mean, not the demigods. Like here there is Ganesh, here there is Kārttikeya, here there is Saraswati. There is a spiritual Saraswati, a spiritual, Ganesh and everything. The name is just coming, but it's just not coming, Ganesh name. Anyway, so Saraswati also was the consort of Lord Viṣṇu and Lord Hare. So Lakshmi and Ganga, they tolerated the new woman in the household, in the Vaikuntha household, Tulasī. However, goddess Saraswati became angered and could not tolerate Tulasī's elevated position. Once, in the presence of Lord Hare, the dignified Saraswati quarrelled with Tulasī and hurt her. Tulasī, humiliated and insulted, disappeared. Now you may think how all these things happen in Vaikuntha and what is this? How come things that happen here in this world happen there also? But no, now you will see the result. Why? So Tulasī, humiliated and insulted, disappeared. Then out of anger, the wise and adept Tulasī became invisible even to Lord Hare. When Lord Hare did not see Tulasī, he appeased Saraswati. He pacified Saraswati, and obtaining her permission, he took her permission. You see how much he is like a handpicked husband. He proceeded to the Tulasī forest of Vrindavan. He was very much disturbed by separation from her. There he took a bath. Then with proper rites he worshipped the chaste Tulasī. Lord Narayana, Hare himself worshipped Tulasī with his whole heart, and then meditated on her with devotion and uttered obeisances to Tulasī-devī, queen of Vrindavan forest. During the worship, Tulasī was offered a lighted ghee lamp, frankincense, sandal flowers and sacrificial offerings. Anyone who worships Tulasī in this way will achieve complete perfection. So here this is the process we also follow. Incense, a ghee lamp and flower. So that is the Tulasī Ārati. The Lord then began to praise his glorious devotee. The Tulasī trees collect in many groups. Now here are the 8 different names of Tulasī. So he began to praise the Tulasī. So actually what he is doing in this way is revealing Tulasī's 8 names to the world. And anyone who chants these names and knowing their meanings, they will become purified. So he's actually, in this pastime of Saraswati upsetting Tulasī and all that, this mode of worship that Lord Narayana had performed and revealed the names of Tulasī, 8 names of Tulasī. So they come for our benefit. So in this way the pastimes are constructed. The Tulasī trees collect in many groups. Thus the Pandits call it Vrinda. Like we say Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Vrinda means group of devotees. Bhakta Vrinda means group of devotees. Muni Vrinda means Naradadi Muni Vrinda Vanditam in the Mukundamala Stotra. Naradadi Muni Vrinda Vanditam. All the groups of sages headed by Narada Muni, they worship Krishna. So, Chintayami Harimeva Santatam. So, Vrinda means group. So, because Tulasi, they grow in groups, she grows in groups of plants. So, it is called Vrinda. She is called Vrinda. So, actually, I also knew because of this only. Otherwise, I wouldn't know why she was called Vrinda. Vrindavan, so groups of forests of Tulasi trees. I praise that dear Tulasi. Long ago, she appeared in the Vrindavan forest and is thus known as Vrindavani. So, now there are two names revealed, Vrinda and Vrindavani. I adore that auspicious and glorious one. She is always worshipped in countless universes and so is known as Vishvapujita. Third name, Vishvapujita. One who is worshipped throughout the world. I worship that Vishvapujita. Countless universes are made pure and holy by her contact. She is therefore called Vishvapavani. Fourth name, one who purifies the whole universe. Remembering her, I am suffering from separation from her. Though other flowers be heaped upon the demigods, they are not satisfied unless Tulasi is offered. Especially offered Tulasi. That means a Tulasi that was already offered to Lord Viṣṇu. The demigods don't accept Tulasi directly. No, because she is only meant for Viṣṇu's satisfaction. Thus, she is considered the essence of all flowers and is called Pushpasara, the essence of all flowers. Pushpasara, fifth name. Then, now I am anguished and troubled and very eager to see her. She who is purity incarnate. I crave the favor of that goddess. In separation of Tulasi, he is chanting all these things and worshipping her. Because attainment of her brings faith and joy, she is called Nandini. Nandini means one who brings joy, especially a female who brings joy is Nandini. Nanda, Ananda. Ananda means bliss, and Nandini means one who gives bliss, a female especially. Oh, may she be pleased with me. In the whole world she is incomparable, thus she is called Tulasi. I take refuge of that dear Tulasi. Very chaste and dear, she is the life of Krishna and so is known as Kṛṣṇa Jīvani. Oh, may that goddess save my life. So in this way he revealed 8 names. What are they? Vrinda, Vrindavani, Vishvapujita, Vishvapavani. And then there is Pushpasara, Nandini, Tulasi and Kṛṣṇa Jīvani. 8 names. After Lord Hare finished the ceremony and prayers, Tulasi was pleased and came out of the tree. She immediately took refuge at Lord Hari's lotus feet. He blessed her by saying, O Tulasi, you will be worshipped by all throughout the world. Dearest, I will hold you on my head and in my heart, and all the demigods will hold you on their heads. So demigods will hold on the heads. The proper way to, sometimes I see in the South Indian, especially South Indian temples, they put Tulasi at the feet of Hanuman, at the feet of all the devatas. That's not the proper way. If you want to put for them, you put on the head of them. When Lord Hare saw that the dignified Tulasi was weeping because her feelings had been hurt by Saraswati, he clasped her to his breast, took her to Saraswati and reconciled their differences. Then he blessed Tulasi, saying, you will be worshipped by all, honored by all and respected by all, and all will carry you on their heads. I will also worship, honor and respect you and carry you on my head. You know how much she is glorified. Tulasi was now very happy. Saraswati then embraced her and seated her by her side. Lakshmi and Ganga, smiling, also hugged her and then took her home. So, now all the differences were reconciled. This is Vaishnava. Vaishnava means there may be some disagreement, but because Krishna is the common goal, the differences are easily reconciled. So anyway, this whole pastime happened because the 8 names of Tulasi may be revealed to us. Chapter 20, Worship of Tulasī-devī. Whoever worships, these are the benefits of worshipping Tulasi. The chapter 20 is all about that. Whoever worships Tulasī-devī with her 8 names and their meanings, Vrinda, Vrindavani, Vishvapavani, Vishvapujita, Tulasi, Pushpasara, Nandini and Kṛṣṇa Jīvani, and properly sings this hymn of 8 verses. Actually there are 8 verses, I think Tulasi Ashtakam or something, which which Narayana has sung. I think it's actually a Sanskrit verses. Of course they are Sanskrit, but it's 8 verses with all these names. Maybe somewhere we can find that. Because Tulasi was born on the lunar day of the full moon in the month of Kārttikeya, Lord Hare prescribed this day for her worship. Actually they do Tulasi Śālagrāma Vivaha. on the first day of Kartik, if I am not wrong. On the full moon day of Kartik, they have Tulasī-Śālagrāma Vivaha ceremony. In the Vrindavan and all the Vaishnava temples, they do it. We don't really do that. Like that, there are innumerable festivals we have to do. Every day will be a festival only. And we have to ask donations from devotees and they will become bankrupt. So anyway, this is a festival that is there. Tulasī-Śālagrāma Vivaha. I think in Vrindavan temple, in ISKCON temple also they do all these different extra festivals than the usual ones that is standard for all ISKCON temples all over the world. There are some which are extra performed in Mayapur and Vrindavan and all that. Whoever worships her on this day will be freed from all sins and go to Vaikuntha. Whoever out of reverence gives Lord Viṣṇu a Tulasi leaf in the month of Kartik will gain the same benefit obtained by giving the gift of 10 million cows, just by giving one leaf in the month of Kartik to Viṣṇu. By hearing or recalling the Tulasi hymn, a son will be born to the sonless woman. A wife will be obtained by the wifeless man. Wifeless man. A wifeless man is a lifeless man. Sounds very pathetic, wifeless man. Health will be restored to a diseased person. These are all, you see, for those who want material prosperity, they are encouraged by these things. But these are not actually the real goals of worshipping Tulasi. The real goal is to attain Seva Adhikar Diya Koro Nija Dāsi. Seva Adhikar. Please give me the Adhikar, the privilege of service to Krishna. That is the real reason to worship Tulasi, not for all these material benefits. But Vedas, in the Purāṇas, there are so many like this. They also promise some material benefits, so that at least those who want these things, they at least come to chant and worship Tulasi. That's why in Hindu families, even though they are not Vaishnavas, they all worship Tulasi. Everyone worships Tulasi. Whether he is a Shaivite or a Shakta or a Vaishnava, everybody worships Tulasi. So, in this way they are encouraged to do this, but the ultimate aim is not for this. Even Śālagrāma Śilā, we worship as Lord Viṣṇu for devotional service, not to get all this, whether what Śālagrāma and which way or what way. No. We worship Lord Viṣṇu. That is how devotees see it. Even Ekadasi, there are so many Ekadasi Mahatmya, there are so many material fruits one may get by following different Ekadasis in different ways. But we do all that for, again, devotion. Even the same thing with Chaturmasya, 4 months, the different fastings. Actually, we only follow very minimal. There are very, very stringent rules for Chaturmasya if you really want to go the Vedic way. So, all that is done for attainment of heavenly planets. But devotees do the same thing, but not for the same result. They go for Viṣṇu, Krishna's service. So, son, by recalling or hearing the Tulasi hymn, a son will be born to the sonless woman, a wife will be obtained by the wifeless man. Sounds pathetic. Health will be restored to a diseased person. Freedom will be given to a prisoner. Fearlessness will be bestowed upon the terrified, and salvation will be given to the sinners. In the Kanva Shakha branch of the Vedas, the method of worshipping and meditating on Tulasī-devī is described. Without invoking the goddess, one can reverentially meditate on her and adore her with 16 ingredients in the following way. Of all flowers, Tulasi is the best. She is worshipable and beautiful and burns up the fuel of sins like a flame of fire. Of all the goddesses, she is the most sacred because no one can compare to her. She is called Tulasi. I worship this goddess who is entreated by all. She is placed on the heads of all, desired by all, and makes the universe holy. She bestows liberation from this world and devotion to Lord Hare. I worship her. After this meditation and worship, the wise should read her praises and bow down to her. So now, this is the end of the whole 20 chapters. Now we understand the glory of Tulasi Maharani, how glorious she is, and why we worship Tulasi every day in the morning. Actually, morning and evening. But especially in the morning, it is a must. In some ISKCON temples, they also do in the evening. Of course, in the evening, we are here and there doing our services. But Tulasi is worshipped every day. This is the reason. And if you see the song, we can actually quickly go through the song, the Tulasi song. And let's actually go through that. Because then now we will actually really understand what is the meaning of the Tulasi song. So this is the Tulasi song. So we can briefly go through this. Now we can actually understand at least what they mean, the verses. Because every day we are singing, we have to know. I have repeatedly said this many times in this series, but we have to know, not just know now and then forget later. Oh, now, oh nice, Tulasī story, and then forget it. And then, no, we have to know while we are singing the Sanskrit or the Bengali. This is actually a Bengali song. So while we are singing, we have to know the meaning. And we know what we are singing, and we can sing with a little more respect. So, Vrindāyai Tulasī-devyai Priyāyai Keshavasya cha Viṣṇu Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyai Namo Namaha. So, if you see the word to word, Vrindāyai, unto Vrinda, Tulasī-devyai, unto Tulasī-devi, Priyāyai, who is dear, Keshavasya, to Lord Keshava, Krishna, cha Krishna Bhakti, devotional service to Krishna, Prade, who bestows. That means she bestows devotional service upon the devotees. She blesses. If Tulasī Maharani's blessing is there, we can get the blessing of devotional service. We can perform devotional service to Krishna. Devi, O goddess, Satyavatyai, unto Satyavati. That means, O truthful, who is knower of the truth. Namah, Namah. Namo Namaha means Namah, Namaha. Together becomes Namo Namaha. Repeated obeisances. So, if we go to the meaning, introductory verse, this is what we bow down and say. I offer my repeated obeisances to Vrinda, Srimati Tulasī-devi, who is very dear to Lord Keshava. O goddess, you bestow devotional service to Lord Viṣṇu and possess the highest truth. Second, now is the, and this last one when we chant. So the first verse is actually in Sanskrit language. This Namo Vrindāyai Tulasī-devyai Priyāyai Keshavasya cha. Sometimes I see the devotees pronounce it wrongly, like Namo Vrindāya Tulasī-devāya, Vrindāya Tulasī-devāya. No, that's wrong. Vrindāyai, yai is for female, Vrindāyai, whereas Kṛṣṇāya is for male. So it's not Vrindāya Tulasī-devāya, Deva or Devāya, it is not male, it is female. So Vrindāyai Tulasī-devyai, we have to take proper care to say her name nicely and offer her nice obeisances. So Vrindāyai Tulasī-devyai Priyāyai Keshavasya cha Viṣṇu Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyai Namo Namaha. So it's not Vrindāya Tulasī-devāya Devyai Priyāyai. So this is Sanskrit. And Yanikani Chapapani, this is also Sanskrit. Yanikani Chapa, actually these two verses are not part of this song. They are taken from the Purāṇas. Yanikani Chapapani Brahma Hatyadikani cha Tani Tani Pranashyanti Pradakshina Pade Pade. Now what is the meaning? Yanikani Chapapani. By the circumambulation of Srimati Tulasī-devi, all the sins that one may have committed are destroyed at every step, even the sin of killing a Brahmana. For word to word meaning, you can actually go here in the same song page. There is this after the song and before the translation, there is word to word link. You can click on the link, you can see the word to word meaning as well. So we will, I think, just go to the translation. Brahma Hatya means the killing of Brahmana. Adi Kanicha. So beginning with the Brahma Hatya, killing a Brahmana is the worst sin. But even that sin can be absolved just by Pradakshina, Pade Pade. Actually, I think we should go to the word to word meaning, because at least, you will, once we are doing it, so let us do it properly. Yanikani, whatever. Cha, and Papani, sins. Brahma Hatya, killing of a Brahmana. Adikani, and so on. Cha, also. Tani, all of them, Pranashyanti, are destroyed. Pradakshina, by circumambulation, going around Tulasī. Why we go around Tulasī? This is the reason. Pade Pade, at every step. So, the full translation is, we have already read. Now we go to the song. Namo Nama Tulasī Krishna Preyasi, Namo Nama Radha Krishna Seva Pavo E Abhilashi. So, this is the first verse. So, word to word meaning. Namo Namah, bowing down again and again. Tulasī, Kṛṣṇa Preyasi. O Tulasī, who is dear to Krishna. Kṛṣṇa Preyasi means one who is dear to, beloved of Krishna. Namo Namah, repeated obeisances. Radha Krishna Seva, the service of Radha Krishna. Pabo, I will obtain. Ei Abhilashi, I want. You see, I want the service of Radha and Krishna. Here you will see. O Tulasī, beloved of Krishna, I bow before you again and again. My desire is to obtain the service of Sri Sri Radha Krishna. Then second, this is what we are singing. Jeto mara sharana loy taravancha purna hoy kripa kori koro tare Vrindavan vasi. So Jeto mara sharana loy, whoever, tomara, ye means who. In Bengali is pronounced as je, Jetomara Sharanaloy. Tomar means your, Sharana Loy means take shelter. Whoever takes your shelter, Tara, his, Vancha, desires, Purna hoy, are fulfilled. Kripa Koriya, being merciful, Koro, you make, Tare, him, Vrindavan dāsi, a resident of Vrindavan. You see, what Tulasī does. Whoever takes shelter of you has his wishes fulfilled. Bestowing your mercy on him, you make him a resident of Vrindavan. She in return make him a resident of Vrindavan. My desire, next verse. Mora e abhilash vilas kunjadiyo vas nayane haribo sada yugala ruparashi. So the word to word meaning. Mora, my, a means this. Mora a abhilash. This is my desire. Abhilash means desire. Vilas kunje, in the pleasure groves of Vrindavan. Dio, please give. Vas, a residence. Please give me a residence in Vrindavan. Nayane. Vrindavan means, of course we see Vrindavan, but a materialist cannot really see Vrindavan, the real Vrindavan. He will just see some thorny plants and some monkeys and pigs and that's all. But a person with spiritual vision who is a devotee, he sees a very grand, nice, full, he sees the entire Golok Vrindavan planet in that small place of Vrindavan. So, in that Golok Vrindavan, and which is not different from Gokul Vrindavan, which is on the earth. So, please give me a residence there. Nayane, with my eyes, Haribo, I will behold Sada, Jugala Ruparasi, the waves of the divine couple's beauty. Divine couple is Radha and Krishna. So he's saying, this is written by Krishnadas, poet named Krishnadas, as an Acharya. So he's saying, my desire is that you will also grant me a residence in the pleasure groves of Sri Vrindavan Dham. Thus with my vision I will always behold the beautiful pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Then fourth, E nivedana dharo sakhiranu koro sevadhikar diye koro nij dāsi. So he's saying, E nivedana, this request, dharo, please keep. This is my request, please fulfill. Sakhira, of one of the cowherd damsels, Anugata Koro, make me a follower. Make me a follower of the gopis of Vrindavan. Seva Adhikar, the privilege of devotional service, Diye, bestowing, Koro, please make Nijadasi, your own maidservant. Please make me your maidservant. They are asking the Tulasī Maharani, please make me your maidservant and make me a follower of a gopi in Vrindavan and give me the privilege of performing devotional service to Krishna. If you see the translation, I beg you to make me a follower of the cowherd damsels of Vraja. Please give me the privilege of devotional service and make me your own maidservant. So he is not asking, please make me one of the gopis, please make me Radharani. No. One of the servants of Radharani. One of the servants of, not even Radharani, servants of Radharani. So like this. And then finally, Dīna Krishna dāse koi, ei jana mora hoy, Shri Radha Govinda Preme Sada Jana Bhasi. So, Dina Krishna Das, Dina Dukhi Krishna Das. This is his name, Dina Dukhi Krishna Das. He is praying, koi, praise, hey, this, Jena, just like, Mora hoy is mine. Shri Radha Govinda Preme, in the ecstatic love for Shri Radha and Govinda, Sada always, Jena, just like Bhasi, swimming. So he's asking, Dina Dukhi Krishnadas prays, may I always swim in the love of Shri Radha and Govinda. So this is the song, Tulasī Maharani. And also, there are Tulasī mantra which we have to chant when we are plucking the Tulasī leaves. So this is Tulasī Amrita Janmasi Sadatvam Keshava Priya Keshavartham Chinomitvam Varada Bhavashobhane. So when one is plucking the Tulasī leaves, we have to chant this mantra. O Tulasī, you were born from nectar, you were always very dear to Lord Keshava. Now in order to worship Lord Keshava, I am collecting your leaves and manjaris. Manjari means the flower of the Tulasī plant. When it is small and with the two leaves attached to it, we pluck that is called a manjari. Please bestow your benediction on me. Then after having plucked all the leaves, we have to chant another mantra. Chayanodbhava dukkham cha yad hridi tava vartate tat kshamasva jaganmatah Vrinda-devi namostute. O Tulasī-devī, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Kindly forgive me if I have caused you pain by picking your leaves and manjaris, O Mother of the Universe. So these are the two mantras that we have to chant, and we have to take care of in fact, in our temple, Pavaneshwar Prabhu takes very good care of the Tulasī plants, and he waters them every day. So this is very auspicious. Even the drops of water that everyone puts at the root of the Tulasī plant every day in the morning, and take the dust of the Tulasī plant on the head. Take a little bit of the dust and put on the head, and then go around. So this is the proper way to worship Tulasī. So by that we get immense benefit, and Krishna will be pleased by that. So that is basically the significance of Tulasī story and the Tulasī song that we sing, and some additional mantras while plucking. Now, any questions or comments on this? In fact, I have already received a couple of questions. One from Mark Prabhu. I hope he also put it here. Okay, now this is a very, very good question he had asked. This is Mark Prabhu from Hungary. I do not know if you can all see it. I will try to make it slightly bigger. I hope it won't become like a big... Okay, so I hope you can all see this question. He is asking, Hare Krishna Prabhu, what is the better or proper attitude for the kinds of songs like Sri Tulasī Kirtan or Sri Shikshashtaka? I meant when we sing, example, Mora ai Abhilash Vilas Kunja Diyovas, Nayana Heribo Sada Jugal Rupa Rasi. Although I have no strong desire yet like the author, so better to glorify the author because he is a pure devotee and he has a great realization, or try to feel the same way like in the song, or both, or something completely different. Same in the Shikshashtaka example, 4 or 7 verse. Thank you. So, I hope you understood the question. So, he's saying that in this Tulasī song we have read that, Mora ai Abhilash, my desire is to live in the Vrindavan Dham and see the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Now he is asking, this devotee who has written this song, he has this feeling that he has this intense feeling of becoming a resident of the Dham. But at this moment I don't have such strong feelings to go to Krishna, and although I know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality, we have to serve him and everything, but that intense ecstatic desire that this Vaishnava has, I don't have it. So how should we sing this song? And when we are singing the song, we know the meaning, but I know I am not there, but we are still singing. So how should our mindset be? So this is a very good question, and he is also asking in regards to Shikshashtaka, where it is said 4th and 7th verse. In the 4th verse, Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye, Mama janmani janmanishvare bhavatad bhakti rahituki tvayi. So he said, I don't want wealth, I don't want women, I don't want money, I don't want following, fame. I just want your devotional service life after life. He's asking, I may not be in that level, but I'm still saying it every day, and we are reading it as a matter of routine, but we're not having the same feeling. So how should we feel? And in the seventh verse, it is Nayanam Galadashradharaya, that is 6th verse. Even those we don't have, all the ecstasy, with tears flowing from my eyes, and Govinda Virahename, feeling ecstatic separation from the Lord in the 7th verse. But we are chanting. So how to feel? So this is a very good question. So at this point, we have to acknowledge, yes, we are not there, and we cannot imitate the position of a pure devotee. In the Nectar of Instruction, in the 5th verse, in the purport, Prabhupada very clearly states that he quotes Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He says, one should not imitate a pure devotee, a devotee on the first class platform, while we are in only the third class or second class platform, majority in the third class platform. We cannot imitate the pure devotee. Yes, we may not have the same desire as him, but we still chant it, understanding that is the goal. That is the goal, and by chanting the song written by a Vaishnava, Acharya, we please the Lord. We please Tulasī Maharani. If I write my own song, it may be full of faults, but we always sing the songs of like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, like here Krishna Das. So by singing their songs, we also realize what is the level of pure devotion and where am I. It's a huge, vast difference. There's actually a beautiful verse in this connection. I will just show you. It's in the Madhya Lila, chapter 23. Sorry, it is a little bit long today, but this will be, so at least we can finish it today. So in the Madhya Lila, there is a nice verse by Rupa Goswami. He has quoted this in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, but it is also quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Kṛṣṇa. So this thing is quite irritatingly slow sometimes. See, this is a beautiful verse. See, it is going up and going down and no control at all. I mean, Kṛṣṇa. To read this verse also you must have some piety, I don't think I have. Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa. Yes. Okay. Here we are. This is Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 23, text 29. Chapter 23, text 29 of Madhya Lila. Na prema shravanadi bhaktirapi va yogothava vaishnavo jnanam va shubha karma va kiyadaho sajjatirapyasti va हीनार्थाधिक साधके त्वयि तथाप्यच्छेद्य मूला सती हे गोपी जनवल्लभ व्यथयते हा हा मदाशैव माम्. So this is a very, very beautiful prayer that we can all actually remember. In fact, I don't remember this verse by heart. I have heard Prabhu quote it many times in the class. Sundar Gopal Prabhu has quoted this verse, but this is the meaning. O my Lord, I do not have any love for you, nor am I qualified for discharging devotional service by chanting and hearing, nor do I possess the mystic power of a Vaishnava, knowledge or pious activities. I possess none of these. Nor do I belong to a very high caste family. On the whole, I do not possess anything. Still, O beloved of the gopis, because you bestow your mercy on the most fallen, I have an unbreakable hope that is constantly in my heart. That hope is always giving me pain. So even this we may not feel as intensely as this verse has projected. But one thing is for sure, that we have to execute the orders of the spiritual master. And as we hold on to the instructions of Srila Prabhupada tightly, everything will be revealed. I would like to think in this way. There is a nice verse by Rupa Goswami. By this analogy, we can actually get an idea of what this, how to take this. You see, let's see if it comes. Yes. So this is a nice verse by Rupa Goswami in the Stavamala. He said, Manasi japani jushte labdha patosmi dushte timira gahana rupe hanta sansara kupe ajita nikhila raksha hetum uddhara daksham upanayama haste bhakti rajjum namaste. Very beautiful verse. He said, see Krishna, I am in a very, very deep, dark, filthy well of samsara. Now imagine yourself in a deep, dark well. Very, 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 very deep. Unfathomably deep. Now, in that deep well, I am there. And that is this world of samsara, this materialistic world. Now, in this well, there is water. Now, those who are, and now he is saying, now in this well, not only is this very deep and there is no chance, even if I cry out, please help me, nobody will even hear me. And it's a blind well. It's so dark because the light of the sun doesn't even come in. So dark and it's so deep. So, in this position, I am crying out helplessly. And not only that, already it is dark and gloomy and everything, it is hopeless. And there is a snake. This snake is my lust, which is constantly trying to bite me. So I am in a complete dangerous position. Now, in such a position, one can only come out only one way. If somebody lowers down a rope, if somebody very merciful lowers down a rope all the way to me so that I can catch. So he is asking. So he is saying, Kṛṣṇa, so I am so sinful and I have fallen into this deep well of samsara. Timira gahana rupe, very deep and very dark. Hanta samsara kupe, kupe means the well. Ajita nikhila raksha, hetum uddhara daksham. You are very expert in lifting up people all the way from this samsara. Upanaya mama haste bhakti rajjum namaste. So please, Upanaya means please bring near to me the rope so that you can bring me up. And what is this rope? Bhakti rajjum. Rajjum means rope. Bhakti rajjum means a rope of devotion. So please give to me this rope of devotion. Please lower it down so that I may hold it. So this is the example. Now, just imagine now, we are in that well now. A human form of life. So when you are in that well, just above water, you can see that there is a small hole, and that is the light at the end of the tunnel. That is a spiritual, there is a glimpse of because once you come out of the well, it is spiritual world, right? So this is now the material world, the well. So there is a small glimpse, small hole only. That's all we can see, very, very far away. And in human form, we can see that at least because we are above the surface of water, we can see. Though if we are below the surface of water, you're submerged in the water, just like those below human species, they are in complete underwater, they can't even see that. Just so similarly, animals and plants and all these birds and everybody below human beings, they are in the well inside the water. They can't even see. That means they don't have any idea of spiritual existence. They're completely in the bodily conception of life and completely lost to themselves. In human form of life, although we are in a dangerous position, we're at least above the water level, we can at least see that there is something above, and I think there is safety, we can at least have a glimpse. So now our position is like that. We have a very little information. Now if actually you come out from the place, you can fully see the entire place nicely. But now we are in this well and we can only see one slight hole there. Now Bhakti Rajjum, so when this rope of devotion is lowered down, now if we hold on to it tightly, we don't even have to, we just hold on to it tightly, Lord Krishna will pull up. But even to hold also we need strength. It's not easy to just hold on tightly. No, it is very difficult. So you need strength. So where you get the strength? Balaram. And Balaram is the giver of strength. And how we get strength from Balaram? Balaram's representative, the spiritual master. By following his instructions, we get the strength to hold on to the rope. And if we hold on tightly and not slip, if we slip, then again we'll fall again back into the kupa, into the well. So if you hold on to the instructions tightly, then we'll go up and up and up. And as you go up and up and up, nearer to the hole, from the hole you can see more and more and more and more. And when you are almost completely out, you can see much more. And when you completely come out and outside of the well, now you can see the entire world. So similarly, from this material now in our position, we cannot understand all these high feelings of devotees, very exalted feelings, and what is the spiritual world like and how it is and how the relations, we can't understand at this point. But Prabhupada said, you follow the regulative principles strongly, eventually you will understand everything. You don't have to extraneously try. It's like you hold on to the rope, eventually you will understand everything, you will see the whole thing, whole picture. So like that, now we have a slight glimpse of where is the goal, where we need to go. We at least understand that now. Now we have to hold on to the instructions tightly and go up there and then actually see for ourselves. So as we advance more and more and more, these will be revealed more and more. So as for now, we just chant it and understand it. Okay, this is the level. I am not nowhere close, but I just have to follow the instructions of the spiritual master dutifully. This is how we have to understand this. Because sometimes, actually, if we don't understand what is the real level at which we have to be, then we also don't know where okay, I am advancing in the spiritual life, but where is the goal? So these words of these acharyas, they help us to understand what is actually the level that one has to reach. So we are constantly reminded, don't think you're a big time devotee, you're very, very far to go. So keep on going. So that is one. So next, I think who asked me? Vimal Prabhu asked me on WhatsApp, but I do not know. No, Vinayagar. No. Kuntima is saying the name of Ganesh is Vinayagar. No, there's this doesn't come to my mind. Vinayaka? No, Vinayaka, no. There is another name of Ganesh in the spiritual world. Why does it not come? Matta smritirganam apohanam cha. Krishna just made me forget like that. Krishna. Ganesh. Just can't get it. It's somewhere there. Just at the memory, but it's not coming. Okay. Anyway. Yes. Thanks for making the narration so engaging and linking the past time with the relevant scriptural injunctions. Where did this pastime take place? This took place on earth. Yes, they will also, this is Nityalila, so they will be happening on other universes as well. So Tulasī is there in all universes, Vishwapujita, Vishwapavani. Out of curiosity, one doubt, all these pastimes exactly happen same in universes or different, including all demigods, architecture, etc. There may be some slight differences, but there is Brahma, like here the Brahma is 4 heads. Other universes have 10 heads, 10, 20 heads, 100 heads, million heads, trillion heads, Brahmas. So the details may be different. The size of the universe also is much bigger according to the number of Brahma's heads. So some details may be different, but overall it's the same thing mainly. Tulasī-Ārati meaning also, Prabhu, if possible. We have already read the meaning of Tulasī-Ārati. Lord Krishna himself performed, and the 8 names of Tulasi are there. Vishvaksena. Is that the name? Yes. Is that the name? Vishvaksena? Yeah. Vishvaksena. Correct. Thanks, Subala Prabhu. Vishvaksena is the name. That Ganesh name in the spiritual world. Spiritual Ganesh. Finally I got. Okay, then Tulasi Pujana, there is from Vrindavan Khanda, Canto 2, Chapter Garga Samhita, Chapter 16. There is some. Then what else? Divide into small parts. Is it okay to offer Tulasi leaf divided in small parts for the food if no Tulasi leaves are available? Yeah, it's alright. But as far as possible, you can offer the whole leaf, that is the best. Then, okay, these are all the glories. What is this, all these questions? Following is a portion of a letter sent by Śrīla Prabhupada dated. Viṣṇu Prabhu has quoted one letter of Prabhupada which answers some important questions regarding the identity of Tulasi. So, question 1. Is each Tulasi a separate Jiva soul or expansion of one pure devotee? Answer by Prabhupada. Tulasi is one devotee who appears wherever there is devotion to Krishna. So, it is all not different souls in the Tulasi plant, it is just one. Where does her spirit soul go when she leaves this body? Tulasi's body is spiritual. May we place jewelry in her soil or just moonstones? Yes, jewelry is alright. When Tulasi is being cared for by householders in their home, must 2 Aratis still be offered? Answer, if possible. When Tulasi is being cared for by householders in their home, may they use her leaves and manjaris on her home offerings, or should they take them to the temple? Tulasi leaves should be offered to the deity. So, of course, in deity in your home or in Krishna's picture at home is also okay, but the deity. When Tulasi is being offered Ārati by householders, must she have a ghee lamp, if possible? Answer. Answer is if possible. 7. Is it offensive to turn the baby Tulasi's back into the soil when they appear? It is offensive to turn the baby Tulasi's back into the soil when they appear. I don't understand exactly what that means. There are even questions concerning Tulasi Aratis where we have always offered her incense, ghee, lamp and flower. Is this correct? Answer, yes. In the manual it states that Tulasi should not be pruned. Does this also mean trimming the branches which no longer have leaves or life fluids flowing through them? Answer. You may cut dead branches, but what is the necessity? We were told you once spoke the 4 regulative principles of Tulasi care which will keep her from getting sick. A. Keep her moist. B. Keep her clean. C. Give her morning sunlight at least. And D. Give her 2 aratrikas a day. Is this bona fide? Answer. I never said that. May Tulasi be made into a tea after she has been offered? No. You see. May devotees carve Tulasi wood for deity paraphernalia? Yes, only once she has left her body. When Tulasi leaves her body and the body is too soft for carving beads, how should she be used? Should a small fire sacrifice be performed? Answer. Use the wood for beads as far as possible. The balance may be placed within the earth. It is also accepted that one can take dead Tulasi and put it in the local river. We have a letter from you requesting that no sprays be used on Tulasī-devī. May we use a spray of buttermilk, whole wheat flour dissolved in water which coats her leaves to keep spider mites from causing Tulasi to leave her body? Answer. I said no chemical sprays. Does Tulasi sleep? Should she be left undisturbed after nightfall? Undisturbed means what? Is it permissible to use scissors to cut her manjaris and when transplanting to use the knives to loosen her from the pot? Answer. Use common sense, and if you have none, then consult with others. That's hilarious. Is it an offense to step on her across her shadow or shadow of any pure devotee? So anyway, there are one more question. For 2 years, we have been waiting permission to use the following 2 prayers plus translations and translation of the already existing prayers. Are these bona fide? Don't try to introduce something new. The most important thing is love and devotion. So anyway, it's all mentioned. Where is Sundar Gopal Prabhu? He is here in the Singapore. Andhasya me hrita viveka mahadhanasya. Yes, that is the verse. Okay. So, this is Vimal Prabhu's question. We understand that Goloka is a place of bliss, happiness and service for Radha Krishna. How come desire against Tulasī and Tulasī against Krishna? Not against, for Krishna or against Krishna anyway. Is it because of their independence? Since they desired something which is not their constitutional position in Golok Vrindavan, they had to take a mortal form and undergo severe austerity. Is this somewhat similar or lower reasons? Envy of Krishna's position, lording it over, we have fallen. Since Radha and Krishna are prime, let's see if the comment comes well here. Okay, that is very big, but actually the comment is big. So, since Radha and Krishna are prime enjoys in Goloka, Sudama had to come down to satisfy his desire since he cannot consort with Tulasī in Goloka. So, Tulasī's relationship with Krishna is nothing wrong. It is supposed to be like that. All the gopis they enjoy with Krishna in Golok Vrindavan. But Sudama had a desire for Tulasī. So in the spiritual world, one thing is to be understood: the Lord Krishna or Lord Viṣṇu is the only enjoyer, nobody else. So if anybody wants to enjoy the gopis, actually Tulasī is meant for Krishna's enjoyment, but Sudama wanted to enjoy her. So therefore, although it looked like he was cursed by Radharani, he was sent here because of that reason, because he wanted to enjoy with Tulasī. So here he spent one manvantara. Only half a moment he was missing from the spiritual world. So even our lives, although we have been here trillions and trillions and trillions of years, in the Vaikuntha world, maybe it's just few minutes or few seconds or something like that. So we have been here for very, very long though. But in our case, we are not in a part of any pastimes of Krishna. We are just, like rotting here. But in this case, it's Krishna's pastimes for his own, for purifying the whole universe with Tulasī. So that was the whole, he engineered this whole thing. Why even Sudama had to have that desire towards Tulasī. And after coming here, became Shankachuda, and such a horrible war happened and everything, such massive scale, all for just introducing the Tulasī leaf to us. So this is the Lord's pastime. So they are all cooperating with the pastime. He is one of the 8, principal cowherd boyfriends of Krishna. How his Nitya Siddha is Krishna's partial expansion. So he can actually never fall, but this is made for his. But at the same time, although it is a pastime, Leela, it is also there as a lesson for us. Just like Jaya and Vijay, they are always doorkeepers of Vaikuntha, but they fell here and they were known as demons. But actually they were always devotees, because Krishna will never deal with anybody else than devotees. Even if they have to be demons, they will be devotees disguised as demons. So, but at the same time, we have lessons to learn how we should not behave like Hiranyakashipu or Ravana or like that. So he does 2 things at the same time. Even Ram, he was Supreme Personality of Godhead. His feelings of separation with Sita are completely spiritual. They are not on the material platform at all. But he is also showing the other side, the material side, that if you are too attached to your wife, your life will be miserable. So he wanted to show that as well, the material side of it. So we learned lessons from there. So he does many things in one pastime. Tulasī-devī jalasya chulukena va. This is another verse I was actually looking for. This is in the purport of the 536 purport. So Tulasī, nice verse here. Tulasī-devī jalasya chulukena va. Vikrinite Swamatmanam Bhaktebhyo Bhaktavatsala. Sri Krishna, who is very affectionate toward his devotees, sells himself to a devotee who offers merely a tulsi leaf and a palmful of water. There was a nice incident in Dwarka where there was a competition between Rukmini and Satyabhama. And so who loves Krishna more? So Satyabhama put all her, there was a scale, like a weighing scale. And whoever has more wealth, Krishna said, that person is more dear to me. So this Satyabhama put all the gold and everything, all whatever she has, all the opulence she put on one of the scales. Whereas Rukmini was, Satyabhama was always very argumentative and very, short-tempered. But Rukmini was very devoted, and she, with great devotion, she worshipped the Tulasi Maharani and placed one leaf on the other side. Whereas this side was gold and innumerable riches. Dwarka, spiritual world already. So innumerable riches on this side, and on this side was one tulasi leaf, and it was like this. The gold all was here, and when the tulasi leaf was kept here, and it completely turned the other way. So one tulasi leaf is more dear to Krishna. It means the whole weight of tulasi leaf offered with devotion to Krishna is more than all these things that we can offer to Krishna. So when he said patram pushpam phalam toyam, he actually especially meant the tulasi patram, tulasi leaf. So these are a palmful of water if we offer to tulasi. In the morning we just offer 3 spoons of water. That makes us very dear to Krishna by the mercy of tulasi. I hope we have answered. Is it possible to serve tulasis? Tulasi sat. I don't know what is tulasi sat. Is it possible to serve tulasi sat in case tulasi leaves are not available for offering? What is sat? I don't understand. What is actual name of Tulasi in Goloka before she came down to Bharatvarsh? Her name was Tulasi also in the spiritual world. Okay, I think probably that's the end of... Okay, there is some measurements here. Where are the measurements? 1 meter to cubits. 1 meter is 2.18 cubits. It's like 14,000 cubits. Means 7,000 meters. 7 kilometers long. Wow. The trident was 7 kilometers. Wow. Amazing. What else? "100 cubits over here." Viṣṇu gave a whole numbering. So, 563. You are full in every respect. You are certainly very satisfied when your devotees offer you prayers with faltering voices and in ecstasy bring you tulasi leaves, water, twigs bearing new leaves and newly grown grass. This surely makes you satisfied. So, yeah. So, there are so many nice quotations like that. Alright, with that we will conclude the session. Thank you all for joining with us, and sorry it has extended beyond the time. In fact, the recap itself was so long, I did not realize 45 minutes. I thought I was just going to go for 15 minutes maybe maximum. Alright, anyway, thank you very much. Jai Tulasi Maharani ki jai. Hare Krishna. Jai Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.